Now I have to cough. I love a good cup of coffee, don't you guys?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, coffee.
Yeah, I love fucking coffee. And he's Ben's over there like chugging a beer. Jeff's probably got a Heineken.
It's a White Claw today.
No, I'm actually drinking tea at the moment.
Well, you are British. That's true.
Yeah.
I was feeling
way to be a stereotype, Jeff. And I am drinking soda, so I guess
we have Meryl for about 15 minutes, and then she's going to go to bed because she is exhausted. So if anybody has any questions for anybody, want to talk about anything, this is your science moment. We're going to have 15 minutes with her. And then after that, we can let Ben and Brian. Oh, do you guys know each other? Does everybody know each other here?
I haven't met Ben before.
Yeah. So Ben, I actually met on. He was on Neil's stream for a deconversion story, and I was like, "Who is this young kid?" And then I thought, "Oh, Ben is funny and brilliant. I want to talk to Ben." So now we are best buddies, and so now Ben's invited on every single show I ever have because Ben's great. And we love talking medical shit. So
because we're bros now. We're bros.
Yeah, we're total bros. Yeah, I adopted him. He's my little brother. Yeah.
And now we have a doctor on hand. Every time.
I said we needed a doctor in the community. I actually told him that, didn't I, Ben?
Right.
I said we need a doctor.
We'll be like, hey, will you look at this?
I'll be like, no. Especially
I have a rash right
I don't
here.
Do derm. That's the one thing I don't do is derm. I hate it. I hate derm. No, actually, you two would love it. I do a Twitch stream where I do medical cases. Like I do simulations of medical cases, and I let the chat talk me through them. And sometimes I pick random people in the chat, and I'm like, "It's your case. I'm gonna sit back and not talk," and then I just let them do it, and it's a mess.
And yet fun.
Unless it's the board game operation. I'm not much used to you there.
Do you have a link to Ben?
Same thing.
Do you have a link to Ben's stuff? I don't know if I'm subscribed to it or not.
I could put my Twitch in the.
Hey Ox, or
Ox can do it.
My I have all kinds of mods.
Purple's out there.
You guys want to throw their Ben's link? Actually, you guys can throw everybody's link up there. That's on the panel with me. That would be amazing.
I do have a.
Rowland said it's always lupus.
Yeah, Rowland's one of my bros too.
Yeah, I know. Rowland's great.
Always
lupus. It's always lupus.
So somebody, I made an emote for my Twitch that says that. So if you sub to me on Twitch, you get a lupus emote. But somebody in the previous, like in the actual interview stream, wanted to bring up the question for, I guess, our two guests to fight over was snakes versus bugs.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that was in the chat on the last one.
I kind of want to see them duke this out right here.
Which one's better?
I'm on Team Snake on this one.
Team Snake. Ooh.
The arthropods would definitely be big brother to snakes. They've been around doing this a lot longer and are a lot better at it.
I, to be honest with you, would agree with Team Bugs.
Ooh. Yeah. Nobody's there's no snake on Earth that's going to stand up to an ant colony. There's just not.
But what are snakes' diet?
Mainly mammals. So it depends
Birds.
on the snake. Yeah, birds, small mammals, rodents.
Don't small snakes eat bugs?
There are some.
Some eat worms too.
Yeah. There's
most earth snakes are gonna. Yeah.
Like what are they called? Garter snakes. They eat worms.
Earth snakes are colubrids, and they're little tiny ones like a ring snake. You ever in the U.S. a ring snake has a little red ring around its neck. You see it in the dirt. It'll eat crickets and isopods and little bugs and stuff. Yeah.
And then you've got the Conte's brown snakes. They grow to about that long. Maybe.
Yeah.
And they are adorable.
I know, right? Yeah, they're so cute. We get little garter snakes here that are so colorful. They're little bitty, like the size of a pencil, and they're bright orange and red and green stripes.
Nice.
So cute.
Oh wow.
I
So
grew up
pretty.
with the little green garden snakes that were like this long. And the first time I found one, I was like, "Oh, it's a snake." And Mom goes, "Put that in the garden." I was like, "What?" She goes, "Put it in the garden. Those." She didn't cuss, but she was like, "Those eat bugs. Put it in the garden. It'll eat the bugs that are eating our plants."
Yeah.
So every time we found a snake, we'd go put it in the garden.
they'll eat
Well,
pests
anything
and
that was
stuff.
reasonable to pick up, of course. Yeah.
Mostly it's rodents though. In your garden, having a big black snake in your garden is always a benefit.
Oh yeah, we never killed the blacks. We only killed copperheads and rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad. Should not.
No, you have to. You live on a farm that's full of them, man. I grew up in like the bottom of the Appalachian Mountains, like down in West Virginia, and there was. I'm telling you, yes, Maya. I know. I love that hat. I told him he needs to because he makes those. By the way, he makes his own hats.
I mean,
So I said, "Tell me how much I want to buy a hat."
I got to actually point out. I do actually have to point out you two that Mero lives in a country where all the wildlife is trying to kill you.
Yeah,
Yes,
but like
I
you
know.
guys were going on about going.
not that it exists.
Don't kill the
And then I'm
snakes.
like, I'm just sitting here, just going, oh, the snakes that I grew up with would kill you in half a minute. Like, oh, brown snakes?
Not that where she
Oh,
lives
gee.
exists, but if it did, it would try to kill you.
Yeah, pretty
Wait, are
much.
we saying that Australia is real? You're not from England and just pretending to be from Australia?
Okay, I want to address
No,
this though.
I'm just on the island west of New Zealand. That's all.
Well, we actually were saying, Dog and I were sort of saying the other week that was it last week Australia sent a crook back to us. How times have changed. And no one bothered to tell your country that we have a no returns policy on Katie Hopkins.
Too
Yep,
bad.
no
You got it
return
out.
policy.
Yeah.
Keep it. Keep her.
So I just want to say that when it comes to success and animals in Australia, they do well in their environment. They've spent billions or millions of years evolving on the isolation there. They haven't had exposure to a lot of the things that came over when we came over with rats, mice, cats, foxes, and while the reptiles and the arachnids are doing well, the mammals and the birds and I shouldn't even say they're all doing well. Some of those are endangered too. Aren't doing quite so well with invasion from here. There's this stigma about Australia, like kill it with fire. When
we tried that
when they had the fire,
Yeah, burn half down, half the country down. Those fuckers are still there.
About finding snakes and spiders are the top two that have this stigma wrapped around them. That it's okay to kill it. It's a snake. It's a spider.
Yeah.
Even the ones that are venomous and dangerous to us, they're playing an important role in the ecology. You have obviously you don't want to be poisonous or venomous. And by the way, venom is a kind of poison, and I'm going to stick with that, and I'll argue with anybody about that. But
venom doesn't kill you if you eat it.
But it's cool now. Venom.
It poisons your system,
cool.
though.
It poisons you. Okay, all right. I'm too tired to argue.
Venom.
The only way to prove this is for somebody in this group to drink some venom and tell us how it goes.
What do you consider venom? Very strong coffee?
I think there's an energy drink called Venom.
I think there is actually. I think I've had it. Yeah. Sounds pretty good.
Alex said he heard even the women in Australia have venom. Is that true?
I'll tell you one of the cool things. I mean, and it's about Australia, with the cats and the foxes moving in. And I say it's a cool thing. It's kind of a sad thing too, but the fact that they grow so much bigger down there because there's nothing filling that meso predator niche, so they're just erupting into these monstrous cats. You see pictures of people with like 30-pound cats that they've trapped, 30-pound foxes. They are huge. That happened in the UK too when they killed all the wolves, but they've kind of balanced out.
Yeah. we pretty much hunted wolves and this wild boar seems to be making a little bit of a comeback in the UK, but yeah, we near enough hunted them to extinction.
They're probably an invasive genetic group, though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But then, I mean, like obviously the famous one with us was when we imported American grey squirrels into our country, and they carried some they carried some sort of disease or something that the British native squirrels just had no immunity to whatsoever. It estimated the populations, and to the point where there's only like maybe 3 or 4 places in Britain where you get red squirrels now. It's like Brownsea Island, the Isle of Wight, and a couple of places in Scotland.
Yeah, I heard about those. Yes.
Yeah, that's actually what happened to the Indigenous people of Australia when Australia was invaded. The Indigenous people just had no immunity to to the flu, colds, and those sorts of things.
Here
and
too.
they
Yeah, we can
absolutely wiped out.
Yeah, we will kill Indigenous people because we travel and we pick up a lot of crap and take it with us.
The New World, the North and South America, was a unique case because we wiped out the population before we even discovered them. Because we had our for a good 20 or 30 years, we were really just active in the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean, and then the Spanish mainland, the Spanish main of Mexico. But there were but our influence and the impact of our diseases that spread to the tips of South America up into the Arctic of North America, because the disease was nobody on that continent had any immunity to it. It just spread like wildfire through the trade routes. Wiped them all out. So then when we moved into that area, we found all this open, developed land just sitting empty waiting for us when these colonists came in from Europe. It's like, oh, look, this land was given to us by God, it was granted to us, but really it's because we killed them with our diseases.
Yeah,
there goes another one.
When Spain went into South America, the Spanish went into South America and like to Peru and whatever. I mean, quite a huge percentage of the Inca population was hit by smallpox, and just absolutely decimated the population.
Yeah, the whole 16th
smallpox
century
killed a lot of people worldwide. Like smallpox was vicious, and all these people are like, "I'm anti-vax."
Oh, God.
Fun fact: smallpox is likely to make a comeback if we continue heating the planet.
Yep.
Yeah.
New mutations of it too, right? It's gonna mutate and evolve. And
see, that's the problem with this global warming thing. When you kill permafrost and stuff, there's shit underneath there we don't want to mess with.
Yeah, viruses and molds and things that are still there, dormant,
waiting for us to just
for tens of
give them a little bit of sun and love. That's right.
I think we got some nematodes too that came back that way, and that's
Oh, you were talking about that earlier. What the hell is a hematode?
Nematode.
Oh, nematode. Sorry.
It's like go ahead.
It's like a very, 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 very simple worm.
Oh, I like worms.
It's like
they live in like every environment. Some of them are parasitic too, so keep that in mind. But
we don't like those kind of worms.
Yeah, but they're very, very small, and they're basically a tube. They're super, super, super
simple,
and probably amongst the oldest life forms on the planet.
Good lab species too. For like if they're like flatworms.
Yeah, they're interesting.
No, Ox. That's a paratode. Get it right.
If it lost all its legs, it'd be a quadratode.
Well, legs. All four. I read that wrong. Never mind. I didn't read the whole thing.
From the knees down.
Yeah. He's a quadratode. Yes.
Yeah, that works for me. All in favor?
See, Charlie said there's a girl in Colorado just died of the bubonic plague.
Oh, yeah, it's carried by gophers in Colorado.
Carried by gophers?
Mm-hmm. I'm from Colorado.
Okay, nobody play with or eat a gopher in Colorado.
I did a
Well, I mean,
video
there's-
on the bubonic plague.
Did you guys know that Caden showed me her nematode?
Oh, I want to see
Yeah.
Cadence's nematode.
Yeah. She
What
also showed
color
me her
was it?
Hydra. It's kind of clear,
Oh, I bet she did.
little green. Yeah, she showed me the Hydra.
The Hydra. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Nervardia, I'd love to chat with you on my channel sometime about sciencey things.
I would love to come on.
I will. I'll hook you guys up on Twitter.
Are you on the Twitters? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's easier to find me on
Yeah,
the
I'm in
Twitters.
one of the groups with you. I'm pretty sure, like one of the big big
I'm
groups.
I'm in like 5,000 groups and I interact with approximately none of them.
Okay, well, but I'm especially curious about the fact that you were like interested in pursuing like naturopathy, and then ended up switching away from that, and that's like definitely something I'd love to chat about if you'd ever be interested.
Yeah, I'd love to come on. I will admit there is an element of woo to why I'm actually doing my my university degree. A friend of mine gave me a kombucha mother, and I got
Okay.
really into it and started researching it and that sort of stuff. And the more I got into it, the more people were going, "Why don't you just do a university degree on it?" And so I ended up going to university because of kombucha.
I mean, you can study like kombucha and enjoy kombucha without being wooey about it. Like it's something that's cool and enjoyable, and like I mean, it's a fascinating process.
It is very interesting. One of my favorite things about kombucha is that it could be antagonistic towards H. pylori.
Really?
We could also actually talk about
Yes,
about lactate
I was
research
so
too,
hoping she was available.
Yeah.
Ha ha!
No!
I think it was available.
So hoping you were
Yes.
available for tonight. I just
No.
because I
No.
thought, shit, I should get Mel in here. So I sent her a link about 10, 15 minutes ago. And I was hoping she would pop up. Hi, Mel. How you doing,
I've been
honey?
trying to get in contact with Mel too.
Oh, Mel, check your
Have you?
Twitter.
I'm
No,
sorry.
I haven't said anything. I don't think I can even.
Oh.
I don't think I can even DM Mel. I don't know if.
You might
but-
can DM me. My DMs are open, which makes
Okay.
things very interesting on Twitter.
I haven't sent you a dick pic recently, have I? I need
But
to
I
You
do
haven't.
sciencey videos, so
I'm
I
so
was-
sad. My weekly dick pic has not come through from Nervardia, and I cry when that doesn't
Oh
happen.
man, somebody find a picture of Richard Nixon quick.
For real. He's not a crook, guys.
I am not a crook. Let me find you,
Brain
Mel.
bug.
Here, Mel.
You're
I'm giving you a link.
styling.
I'm giving you a link to
Thank
Ben's
you.
channel. There you go. It's in your Twitter.
Okay, great.
Sweet.
Is
Brain
my
bug
hat
is
full?
styling. I've never seen you in a cowboy hat.
I know. I made him promise to check the prices of the materials and make me one. I'm going to pay him.
When I did my bug shows,
I want
this
that
is the
hat.
kind of hat that I would wear.
The best hat.
Oh
I
my
would wear
goodness.
like this with a
What sort of
either this or a
materials do
beetle.
you use?
What's that?
Hello there.
Well, you
What
get
sort of
this.
materials?
You
2
get
hours
this,
sleep.
It's already woven, but it's
Are
like
they natural?
God damn
Um,
it, mice.
yeah, the ones that I used to use were natural. You'd get like it would be kind of in the shape of the hat. I liked this one here with the seam on it, but and it's got all the straw sticking off of it, and you got to trim it up, and you take. Well, it's kind of like
Yeah.
basket weaving. It gets really intricate, but you do these nice weaves. You can put these nice creases in wherever you want on them, and put whatever kind of band you want on it. But yeah, I don't actually weave the mesh. It comes like that.
All right, I'm
Gotcha.
gonna need you all to like watch your ears for a second. It's gonna get really loud, but I have
Yep,
to
we
do
got
this
to
for
we got to
mice.
please mice, tons of mice.
There
There
you
you go. There's that snap. Okay, so those of you that don't know, there was a joke started about Ben's medical gloves and that he needs to do an OnlyFans of just putting on the gloves and stuff and wearing like a lab coat, and he already has like a exam room background.
Oh
So he's
my
like, fuck it.
goodness.
So for a couple days, he had a blown up glove with a
I
smiley
do. I
face
still
on
have it. It's kind of
Oh, do you
deflated
still have it?
now.
Oh, it's
Deflated. I
starting
need
to
to make a
deflate.
new one.
See, you need to make like happy faces with gloves. I don't know why people don't do that more often.
We should do that for the doctors before we put them on, but then they wouldn't be sterile. So what do you think? Right?
Well, I mean, if you blow on the inside, then it's still okay. And honestly, gloves are not very sterile anyway.
They're not sterile anyway. No. It's true. They're not.
Yeah,
I was.
They come in just a little cardboard box. There's 100 of them. You know, they're not really that sterile.
Everyone touches them to pull them out.
I was
the only ones that are sterile. Oh, I'm sorry.
Y'all listen to Nervardia. She has stuff to say.
Shut up, everybody. Meryl's talking.
I was thinking about starting a OnlyFans of me just saying long, complicated words. It's like,
yes.
Endoplasmic reticulum.
Deoxyribonucleic acid.
Baby, talk to me.
Phosphatidic acid.
Can you throw a little DNA in there for the crowd?
Can we all just like all of us need to work on a video and do a collab?
Just do all science and make it sound like all innuendos.
Do we have anybody in here who understands human anatomy pretty well? If I were to make a joke, okay, cool. So I keep telling people, and it's really funny because people end up Googling this, and it's great. But my hypothesis is that the soul is actually, oh God, wrestling just started. My volume got weird. Okay. I had the Olympics. I have the Olympics on.
That was hilarious. I got that. It was hilarious.
Wrestling.
Oh God. Okay, I got it.
No, I have the Olympics open in a separate tab, and wrestling just started. Anyway.
To reason the cause, I suppose. Yeah.
My hypothesis is that the soul is actually connected to the pudendal nerve, and that's why people say "oh God" when they're having sex, is because if you know where the pudendal nerve is
that in Uranus?
Yeah. Does that? I think that runs along the lines of the genital areas. Yes.
Yeah, it's a sensation of that area,
and then you got the vagus nerve, which is along the anal area, which is like how
it's one of the best
Elvis died. Elvis died from bearing down too hard, and he was on uppers and downers, and he had a heart attack. Well, taking a dump.
Yep, he sure did. Sitting on a toilet, and they found him like this.
Oh my gosh. And that's so terrible because Elvis was so sexy in the 1960s. Elvis, like,
you know, this is one of the reasons I knew I was gay, because growing up, everybody was like, Elvis, the Beatles, the Beach Boys. And I was like, how you doing, Dolly, with those boobs? How you doing? How's this National Geographic? Look at that really chick. Fun. No shirt.
A friend of mine used to give tours at Graceland. And I'm actually on a documentary somewhere from the 90s where I'm talking about Elvis. And it got me like free passes to Graceland and like a book and a VHS tape, which I gave to my mom because she was a huge Elvis fan. But he really liked having topless ladies wrestle like in his living room in white cotton panties. That was the thing.
That
I don't see anything wrong with that, really. I mean, depending on the age.
I don't see anything wrong.
I think there's a lot of guys that like that.
As long as there's consent.
So you're saying he was a man? Check. Okay.
He was and also something that a lot of people don't understand. He really, even though he was a bit of a pig when it came to women, a little bit misogynistic, kind of weird with the ladies because he had a mommy complex, but he really was a philanthropist in the area. He gave so much money to different groups.
Oh, really?
And yes, he did. The Pearl Harbor Memorial that's in Hawaii, he paid for that. And he would not take recognition for that until after he died.
Shut the fuck up.
I know. And
wow. I had no idea where that money came from.
Yeah.
See, I always heard that he was like generous to a blooming fault at times with his money. I'd heard that about him, to the point where Priscilla had to rein him in once or twice. Because
he would just buy Cadillacs for like little black old ladies walking down the street, and they would like be looking in the Cadillac dealership. I really like that car, and he goes, "You like that one? Okay." And he would just buy it for them.
Oh my God.
That was just Elvis. He was just like
That's
that.
great. See, I didn't know that
Yeah.
because he died like within 6 or 8 months of me being born or something. But I think he died right before I was born or right after. What year? When did he die?
I think it was
77.
77.
No, was it 77?
It was
was
August of
77, yeah.
77.
Oh, so I was like 6. Okay, but I mean,
It was,
I don't
yeah.
really remember anything about him because I was so young. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't hear all the. Oh, what I heard was Elvis has died. Elvis died. Elvis died for years. You know,
But,
like everybody talked about that.
As much of as a weirdo that he was, wanting to have like a special badge from Nixon about being anti-drugs. I mean, there's like a whole documentary about how he went to the White House wanting to be part of the CIA. It's just, I've got a black belt in karate. It's like, do you though? But okay.
I think it was honorary. It was an honorary black belt, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Wasn't it an honorary one given? Now, is it right that Chuck Norris gave it to him? I'm not sure if that story's true or not, but
that might have been later. But he did go to some black belt classes. But he expected Nixon just to hand over like a badge to him.
Here, you're now with the CIA, just like that.
the best story I've heard about Nixon and a pop group, which almost happens, is some of the members of Jefferson Airplane were invited to the White House and had the plan to put a little bit of the old LSD into Nixon's drink. But they went, even despite they getting this invite, they turned out they were on some sort of FBI list or something, and they weren't allowed in. So but they were planning to put a little bit of the acid into Nixon's drink.
Lovely.
Oh,
did you see that? Mel, did you see that Mice said he didn't pay for the entire thing? He donated to the fund for it. And
oh, okay. So he donated to the fund for it. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard that he paid for like the majority of it, and he wouldn't take credit for it until after he passed. If you go to Graceland, I've been, I think 3 times. It's like the weirdest experience ever. It's really just like a poor kid from Mississippi got a lot of money and built a house. That's like, I mean, it's so that. It's like, I just want a room called the Jungle Room, and that's what it is. I want a wall of TVs. That's exactly what it is. I want like a dining room that looks like a Persian nightclub. Totally that. It's just, it's like a weird freaking.
Hey, you know what? I have lots of money. Let's have fun.
But I want my kitchen to look like my grandma's. We got that for you.
Seriously? Really? That's crazy. I didn't know that. I've never been there. I was just never a big Elvis fan. So
I'm gonna go because
you should, honey.
Go.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on. It was lovely meeting you, B and Ben, and
thanks for coming on, sweetheart.
Everything stuff. All right.
Are you okay, Norbertia?
She hasn't slept.
I haven't had any sleep. I took a ADHD pill yesterday, and one of the side effects is insomnia. And I was like, my Fitbit says I had 2 hours of sleep, but I was completely aware during the entire night, so I haven't slept at all.
Okay, go to sleep.
All right, bye.
Send me a dick pic later.
I will. Do you want Richard Branson?
Oh no, give me something younger than that.
All right. Bye.
So Ollie said in Memphis, Presley earned his first degree black belt in 1960 under Cheeto Ryu stylist. Okay. Hank Slamansky. Later, Elvis trained in a Memphis dojo under Master Kang Ree, who bestowed upon him a 7th degree black belt before Elvis opened his own center, the Tennessee Karate Institute. He did not fake his karate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's
where you get those moves from.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I saw some of Elvis's karate. I doubt his black belt was legit.
Well, it doesn't mean that doesn't mean he kept up with it. Like, you know, anything like that, you have to keep. It's like being a basketball player and you stop playing for 5 years. You're not going to walk on the court and be perfect. It just doesn't work like that, you know. And I'm sure anybody that's a star who gets caught up in doing all the tours and blah, 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 and all this stuff is not practicing. So even if it was legit, I could see where he would have sucked after years of not doing it. You know,
Well, that's like people saying that Elvis only knew like 4 chords on guitar. There's no way that a dude touring around the country constantly with hundreds of musicians all the time on his bus with guitars all around him, and he plays guitar on stage. He never learned more than 4 chords. Bullshit.
Well,
I don't even believe it.
Well, B.B. King apparently couldn't play a single chord, but he always played notes. But one of the greatest blues guitarists of all time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, BB King was amazing.
Oh gosh, yeah.
BB
And so
King was
I'm like
amazing.
from the South. I'm like from the deep South. You could just walk out of my house and throw a rock and hit somebody who can sing. This is how
right,
it
and
is.
play the blues,
and play the blues or something like just
banjo,
walk into a church.
guitar, something. Right.
I can't
I
sing,
mean-
but I can play the blues.
But you know, and even
I
Johnny
can too.
Cash,
I can put the CD right in.
Johnny Cash couldn't play the guitar that good. He was not a skilled guitarist. He was an image. He was a voice. He could play. I'm not like a huge like musician person. I did play piano when I was little, and I still have an acoustic guitar, and I can play some Johnny Cash songs because there's only like 3 or 4 chords.
Yeah, he just plays.
Same thing with Elvis, though. You know.
That's that country western style though. That dun 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 dun. Dun. You just hold a chord. You just do the
It's like
strumming.
G and E and D and A flat, G.
And then back to G. Yes.
back to G. You know, it's like the same 4 chords. And, you know, interesting thing, Elvis never won a Grammy for any music that wasn't a gospel song. He only won Grammys for his gospel music.
Who was that?
Elvis.
Oh, really?
He didn't win a Grammy for Jailhouse Rock.
He was too early. He was too early by about 10 years.
Possibly,
People weren't ready for like his dancing. They all saw it as like too sexual, and people just weren't ready for that. He was 10 years ahead of his time, maybe 15.
You know, the interesting thing about Elvis was he could have had a good career as a country singer, you know, or a country performer if he'd gone that route, but he wanted to do rock and roll. I think that's freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Whatever.
He had
you
a
wanna
good
do.
voice for country. He did country songs. He did country songs throughout his career, didn't he?
He did a few. But he did also kind of steal from the black folks. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what everybody did back then, though.
Yeah, and it's pretty.
And Jemima,
terrible.
right? Yeah.
Um,
Jesus couldn't play guitar, but he could bang it out on the spoons. Mice, I need to know if those were metal spoons or wooden, and did he craft them himself? I just have to know that.
Or were they sporks from a Crystal or White Castle?
We don't hear enough about spoonsmiths. Who was making spoons back in the olden days?
Well, back in the day, it was the woodworkers because they were made out of wood, and a lot of people just made their own.
I mean,
But
Joseph
like
was a
bowls
carpenter,
and,
right?
You know, big platters and stuff. You know, most people would go out and buy those. But most people back in the day, everybody knew how to build things because everybody built their own houses and their own furniture, and so making their own spoons was not a big deal.
So
you know, the blacksmith was the guy in town that you wanted to be buddies with because there wasn't a lot of those hanging around.
I really want to hear the Jesus rendition of Spoon Man by Soundgarden now.
Yes.
Oh God.
God man.
Spoon Man.
That's fucking awesome. Mice, make that happen for me. I want to hear that shit. I need someone to do that.
Well, I think I've mentioned before that I used to be like a Norse pagan a few years ago, and we always used to have this little one who'd wind the Christians up with saying, you know, your God was nailed to a cross. My God has a hammer. You got any questions?
Wow.
Mine has a hammer. Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Oh,
it's like fucked up and funny all at the same time.
How do the pagans feel about Thor and Loki? The films and the TV shows.
There's mixed opinions. I think most of them couldn't care less. But then you've got, unfortunately, especially within the Norse, there's a little bit of a there's a certain minority, shall we say, that are very undesirable. like far right fucking lunatics.
Mm.
I mean, you know, if you speak to Ocean Kelter or whatever, tell you all about that. These people, you know. But
You know, I'm kind of enjoying Loki quite a bit. I don't know. I like this, show.
I mean, having read a lot of the Norse myths and whatever, the Marvel Loki is almost exactly how I picture him. You know, Thor is very different because he's very much described as being a redhead in the Norse mythology as well. So
I wonder why they went with blonde for Thor. Because I guess they went blonde for Steve Rogers too, though.
Yeah.
They were just like having a blonde hero.
And I'm not a fan of either. I'm way more a fan of Bucky and Loki than I am of Captain America.
You're a
and Thor.
Dark Horse fan, aren't you?
Probably,
Like,
yeah. I'm like Black Widow. They didn't mourn her enough, and I'm still pissed about that. So, like, let's have this massive, huge funeral for Tony Stark. But yeah, we're all gonna say, yeah, it was sad that Natasha's gone, but whatever.
Yeah, she's on
we
some.
gotta keep on the mission.
Her corpse is going to be laying on some cold, isolated planet far off in the galaxy. Let's just forget about her. Why not?
It's just whatever. She'll get her own movie later, and that'll make
It'll
it
be
better.
fine. It'll be
And I'm just
fine.
like, that makes me nuts.
And especially with all the.
This is a comic book. This is like comic book stuff, though. It's like, you know, nobody stays dead. You know.
Well, I mean, now that we have the universe exploding with WandaVision and freaking Loki, so Doctor Strange is going to show up and be like, "What are you doing?" And then he's going to have to fix everything. Which Doctor Strange, I really am not a huge fan of Benedict Cumberbatch, but I really liked his performance in Doctor Strange. I thought being a science person and knowing what you have to go through and knowing what a surgeon has to go through to get to where he is, and your hands are everything. And if you can't use those tools and you're like, I can't do my job anymore. All of this time I've spent training to be this surgeon is useless now because I can't use my hands. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. As much money as I've spent on my education, I'm like, what if I can't ever do my job anymore?
like that kind of goes through my head. Like, granted, I hope I will never fail out of medical school, but it's a thought, like, what would happen if I failed out of medical school? I'm in how much debt? Like, I worked how hard to get here. And if something happened to where I couldn't continue, like, yeah, I would be in a really, really dark spot. And I don't know what I would do.
You'd be going to Tibet looking for like the oldest person there, but like, please tell me there's magic and I can make this better.
Someone actually at my school, like, I don't know if you heard about the incident in Arizona where a medical student was arrested for like terrorist threats because she failed her boards twice and a lot of stuff was going on. And I don't know the whole story, but like, I mean, if that happened to me, I'd be not in a great spot.
It's
so, and on top of that, being in a field that taxes you so heavily to where we all have some kind of mental illness by this point. Mm-hmm. Like, and we're not able to get help for anything. And it's just more stress and more stress. And yeah, like, I don't know what I would do.
I've been pretty vocal about what happened to me when I was in grad school. So I got 2 master's degrees. My first was in art, specialized in secondary science education, and the second one is in chemistry. I was in a PhD program, and I started to get heavily stalked by someone across the board on all kinds of social media, to the point they were calling my lab, they were calling my phone, they were having people watch me. And these people would be texting me or messaging me. It was like a mutual friend of someone. I left my PhD program because he ruined me there.
That's awful.
Oh shit! Really?
It's
That is
God.
absolutely awful. I got my master's and I left because I couldn't focus on my research. I would be like going to teach a class and I would just start crying for no reason. Tears would just be coming out of my eyes just randomly because I wasn't processing what was happening to me. This man would pretend to be a woman. He would pretend to be a man. Another man, he'd pretend to be a couple. And they would just onslaught. Anytime I would do like a stream or something, he would pretend to be this woman. One time he pretended to be a woman named Lisa to try to figure out when I was going out of town again. And he was a mutual friend of some other people. And I had met him before and we were friends. And I said, no, thank you at one point. And he lost it. And I found out that he had had other women that were like lovers of his. And he kept files of them on his computer. And he would use that as blackmail. If they ever spoke out about him, he would ruin them. One was like a primary school teacher. Another one was a dancer who was like a ballet dancer for theater in London. And he was like, when he started to emote different things to me, like, you know what, I need to just like pay somebody to break her knees and she'll never dance again. I'm like, okay, I need to get away from you now. So
Holy
I'm like,
shit, Mel.
woo.
Yeah.
So
That's just awful.
It's
really
well, I mean,
is.
awful's not even strong enough a word, but you know, fuck, you know.
I filed, and so he lives near London. I have a lawyer over there, and I was fortunate because I've been to London many times, and I have lots of friends there. And my lawyer is Miles Jackman in freaking London, and I'm like, and Miles is like, I heard this is going on, and he's like, do you want me to have like, oh my god, you're a lawyer? I forgot you do that.
Yeah, could you help me?
He's like, you want me to help you with this?
I was just gonna say, if he's over in like my part of the world or whatever, I mean, if you really thought about it, you could sort of given him a fake address and like sent him to Stool.
I could. Here's what's interesting. He's actually an osteopath. He is an osteopath. And he told me he was actively working as one, would send me pictures of patients, would come up, even falsify emails. And I'm like, and he would send me emails of his patients. I'm like, I don't think this is legal. You should probably
That is not okay.
Oh my
Absolutely.
god, there are so many
Delicense.
violations against that.
But that wasn't, he made them up because he wasn't a practicing osteopath, because he had quit and revoked his license. I think because there were charges that were brought up on him for inappropriate behavior with female patients. And so he is now, after 10 years, he sat out 10 years. So that would drop off his record. He's still a practicing osteopath.
Oh,
and I
God.
I know for a fact, because I still have a phone I could never turn in because that's how he contacted me. And so I have the original phone with all of the messages he ever sent to me, just in case I need to use it for court or something. But
you need to find a way to legally blackmail him.
I have. I have.
Good.
So I got
give him a taste of his own medicine.
I did. I got into a public dispute with like I Am Atheist Girl and S.J. Thomason. I got into a public dispute with him about, oh gosh, I guess it was a year and a half ago. He's been quiet since I did this. But I got into a public dispute with him. And so what he likes to do is he'll generate 30 plus accounts and flood somebody either through their website, email, whatever, and push this particular narrative. So apparently, guys, I am a Marvel supervillain. I'm just telling you in advance because this is what apparently I've done. So I have a general.
You mentioned two people there, one of which is no longer on Twitter and the other one I'm blocked by. So, you know.
Well, he decided to send them messages saying that I threatened to burn down his house with his children in it. I'm in America. He's in freaking UK. how am I going to do that? And then he said that I had an army and I had generals. And I'm like, well,
What?
next week we're talking about our uniforms we're going to wear, you know, and on Tuesdays, that's when we get all the pitchfork folks together. And then on Thursdays, that's when we get like the torch folks, you know, that have like the long rifles, because y'all don't really do the gun thing there. So
we
Let me just
That's
pause
a-
you guys for a
that's one of
second. One second, Jeff, because Brian has to go. So I just want
Yeah.
to say goodbye to him.
I
Thank
suppose
you,
say bye to
Brian,
everybody.
for
Yeah.
coming
I love
on.
the
See you,
hat,
Brian.
Brian.
Yeah,
Thank you.
get with me about the hat, man. And then Ox already threw your Ox, throw that back in there for me again. Your link to your channel. You'll find Brian where?
It's on YouTube at YouTube.
No, I meant the other places you're at. We know you where Ox is gonna put that in. The other things
yeah.
you do.
I'm pretty active on IDing bugs on Twitter, and if you're interested in that sort of thing, people send me all kinds of stuff, and I identify it. And I am also on Instagram, where I post a lot of my Mantis stuff. That's mostly I'm active on YouTube though.
Yeah. So, Brian also does stuff with your friendly neighborhood atheist.
Other channels I'm on. Yeah, that's what you were asking. Yeah,
That's what I meant, honey.
With your friendly neighborhood atheist. I do stuff with Math Pig. I do stuff with Pale Blue Mama.
Mhm.
So I get around a lot. I do stuff with Answers in Atheism.
Yep.
You'll see me all around. Wherever they're talking about nerdy science stuff.
Absolutely.
What
If you want to talk about nerdy science stuff or a bug, he is your guy.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Brian, for coming on, buddy. It was really good to talk to you, and I miss your face, so you should pop in whenever you can to after parties and stuff. I'd love to see you.
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right, buddy.
All right.
Have a good night.
Brian.
See you, Brian.
He's so sweet.
He is. He's a good guy. He is a
He's
really
cool.
good guy.
Goodness. Well,
So, Purple, check your Twitter. I sent you a link like 40 some odd minutes ago.
the good news is the jerk has left me alone, because I posted on Twitter after he started flooding SJ and I Am Atheist Girl all of this. Oh, scientist Mel is this. She's that. She threatened to burn down my house with my kids in it, and she's a terrible human. And I've apparently done like Dr. Evil kind of things. I'm like, I'm not Jeff Bezos, but all right. So, but so there was all that. And so I finally just posted, I said, look, and I tagged the Osteopathic Society of the UK in with it. I'm like, and his name is Oliver. I'm like, Oliver, if you don't leave me alone, I'm going to tell at Osteopathic UK that you are prescribing drugs without a license. And I have the evidence. Go away and leave me
Because
alone.
I want to clarify too, osteopaths in the UK are not the same as osteopaths in the US. In the US, they are equally licensed. Because I'm in a DO program, but in the United States, DO and MD are the same. Other places in the world, they are not the same.
Oh,
he's,
okay.
he's like a glorified chiropractor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So they're not the same everywhere. So I
No,
have to
they're
make that
not.
clarification.
Theo said it's always raining in the UK. You can't burn down his house anyways.
That's true.
I can confirm.
Do you know what's really funny?
Bye, BB. Go
I
ahead.
have to tell you one of the funniest things. So one of his other victims, and I call them victims because that's what they were. He's a malignant narcissist. Probably one head injury away from being Ted Bundy, in my opinion, because the things that he like said to me, I'm like, yeah, I don't need to know you anymore. It's like, oh my God.
You said one step away, but you don't know that he might already be past
He
Ted Bundy.
probably might be there.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying.
oh my gosh. So one of the women that he targeted and used, he had asked her to like spy on me, find out what I was doing at university, what I was doing on my social media, and she would ask my friends, and they would of course send me screenshots. So I just added it to the police file, which was 20 some odd pages long, and I would send it to the police. And she honestly thought, this is how good narcissists are. She honestly thought that I was going to have a baying mob that was out for blood to attack her house, to the point that she had police come to her house to see if it could withstand a mob attack. That actually happens. I have the entire conversation where she was talking about to a friend of mine about calling police to her house to see if it could withstand a mob attack. I am a Marvel supervillain, guys. What's up? High five. I didn't realize I had that much power.
Well, DKH said, "I see in your police file there is a table of contents. This isn't going to be good." Purple, what's up, buddy?
Purple.
How are ya?
Yeah, I had to wait for that creepy crawly guy to be gone, right?
You had to wait for what, honey?
I said I had to wait for that creepy crawly guy to be gone.
Oh.
No, he's cool. I watch his stuff.
Yeah, no, Brian's great. And he'll explain stuff, and if you ask him questions, he'll go over it, and he's really good at that. And I actually always tell people to sub to Mel for that same reason, because Mel's Mel teaches. So she's really fucking good at it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, and
Absolutely.
lately he's been doing stuff on cryptids, which is something that I was really obsessed with him when I was a teenager.
That's
Actually, the Loch Ness Monster helped get me away from the Bible. You study that
Well,
for
yeah.
a while, you see a lot of the stuff about how people just keep embellishing and retelling the same 3 stories. I realized I had 22 books that were all based on the same 3 accounts.
Oh shit! Really?
Yep. That's what made me start looking at the Bible differently.
Right. DKH said, "Saved by Nessie."
Saved by Nessie. I want to know what Dr. Ben is eating.
Is these Indian snacks? Well, these are different Indian snacks that I had the last time, but they're very crunchy, so I have to mute my mic when I eat them. Oh, you can't see them because they're green. There
green?
isn't even any green on the bag. There's no green on the bag. I don't know why my green screen's messing with it.
Is there any blue or blacks or?
No, it's just yellow, but they're like these. It's like rice and stuff,
Oh,
Oh, that's
but it's like it's super super crunchy. It's like fried and it's got like cumin seeds in it.
Oh, that sounds
And
nice.
it's delicious. And I also do have two tabs open for wrestling because I wrestle. So I have to have my
you
wrestling.
wrestle?
I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but I cross-train wrestling. And actually, one of the guys I train with back home, he has a jiu-jitsu black belt, and he was a bronze medalist in the Beijing Olympics for Greco-Roman wrestling. So they actually mentioned him because he was like the last time until now that like we had an American medal in Greco.
Oh, really?
So,
Cool.
but yeah, so I've got one tab open for men's Greco and I got one tab open for women's freestyle because they're both going on at the same time. Like I can't even just watch one.
It's really weird that I see. I'm like the sort of big sort of sports guy in the community, but I've not really been watching much of the Olympics this year.
I only watch the stuff that I do. And I also cross-train a little bit of judo, but I don't care as much about judo. So
Yeah.
it's just the wrestling.
I think the problem, I'm not liking the sort of coverage we're getting in the UK, because it seems like we're only covering the sports where Great Britain might have a chance of a medal or something, and it's a little bit. Yeah, I want to see some of these other sports, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I went. Me and Peach went out to eat the other night. We went to this like restaurant with a bar in it. Basically, is what it is. And they have like really good steaks and shit, and it's called the Ranch House. And we went in there, and they had like baseball and something else on, and we were like, "Can we watch the Olympics?" And the bartender handed us the remotes and said, "There you go. I think it's like 148." And sure enough, she was dead on.
Why
and so
would
we
they
put
not
on
be playing
two
the
different.
Olympics during the Olympics?
I know. That's what we were like. Why are we watching this stupid shit? Nobody cares about fucking baseball right now. It's about the Olympics. So she gave us the remotes and we changed them. So we had 3 different screens going. We were watching like soccer and the women's track and field. And I can't remember what the other thing was. Anyway, so yeah, we had 3 different screens going in the bar. It was great.
Probably, I'd say it's just as well for you. They took baseball out of the Olympics because that would be the worst thing ever, wouldn't it? If you turn it over and it was baseball.
Yeah, no, doorknob head is absolutely correct. Like, because Greco's all upper body wrestling, you can't attack the legs, so it's just all throws. It is nasty. It's an intense sport. Greco's intense. I prefer to, like, if I'm doing it, I prefer to do freestyle. But I mean, I can admire some Greco.
Rock on.
I don't like baseball at all, and I've tried to enjoy it many times, whether it's on the television or in person in a stadium. And I'm like, my butt just goes numb sitting in those seats.
Look, I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you the trick to baseball, Mel. Turn it on and take a nap. That and NASCAR's best nap you'll ever have in your life.
NASCAR and I feel, I don't understand the appeal of that except for the crashes. That's kind of why I enjoy
That's
hockey.
exactly why they watch. They're waiting for the fucking wreck.
The appeal.
They
want the guy that they hate to wreck.
You get a bunch of angry dudes with sticks on some ice and they're going to go around hit each other with them. I'm like, okay, I'll watch that. But anything, I'm just like, I'm not a huge sports fan. And I've been particularly irritated with how they've been towards like black women in the Olympics lately. And I'm just like, I
any excuse they can. She smoked weed in a place that's legal. And now we're going to.
Michael Phelps did too, but they let him perform. So
he's a white man.
Right. Now, can somebody.
But he's a white man, Mel.
Can somebody kind of confirm. Or this or me. I've heard a story because they've got like beach volleyball in the Olympics. Mm-hmm. I've heard that there was a women's team or something that got fined for wearing shorts
in Australia.
Like bikini
yeah.
They were in Australia and they wore like a bicycle short type bottoms instead of bikini. They fined them $1,500 and some odd dollars.
It was the Norwegian team, I think, in Australia, wasn't it? Or
maybe, but they were in Australia. That's all I know. They were playing. They were playing in Australia,
and the Norwegian men had like full shirts and like huge swimming trunks.
And that's okay.
Those clothes might impede like the women's ability to hit a ball over.
That's what the women's coaches from the other teams were saying that shit. And I'm like, are you kidding? Who wants to have your thighs rubbing together with sand in the middle? Anybody ever done that? I grew up I lived by the beach for like 16 years. I'm going to tell you, it does not feel fucking good. It does not feel good.
Oh my gosh. And some of these were minors. They asked for an exception, at least for the minors, and they were told no.
Yeah, no. Yep. And there was somebody, I think it was like a famous sports person, some famous athlete, was like, I'll pay the bill for him.
No, Pink stepped up and
said
Pink.
Pink.
Oh, it was Pink?
Yes.
Oh,
Pink.
Okay. I didn't know who it was, but yes, I'll pay the fine. Let him play. I'll pay the fine. Yep.
You know what? Then guys need to be in banana hammocks. If they're gonna make the girls run around.
Please don't.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
It's fucking disgusting.
You're gonna make the girls wear bikini bottoms, then make the dudes wear banana hammocks. They can't have all that.
Can we all just wear baggy shorts? Nobody needs to see that shit.
No
it's
extra.
Bad enough what the swimming guys wear. That's close enough for me.
Sports bras and banana hammocks.
Do the banana hammocks to the male weightlifters so people can see what the steroids actually do.
Yeah,
that makes you a real man, doesn't it?
That would be like the ultimate steroid test ever, wouldn't it?
Oh my goodness, where are his
peanut
testicles?
Hammock
I don't
is
know.
what Doorknob said. For the weightlifters, it's not banana now, it's peanut hammock.
But yeah, like
tiny peanut.
Balls.
Like for anyone who wants to talk about how like women's sports are not exciting or whatever, needs to watch women's wrestling, women's jiu-jitsu, because holy crap, like it is so high energy. And like, even if you compare like a women's match to a men's match, like the women are actually way more entertaining to watch because they're moving. They're constantly moving. Guys grappling is just like they polar bear and they sit on each other. Like this is boring.
They wait to wear each other out. Right. It's true.
I mean, obviously, look, I've watched a little bit of the women's soccer and they're every bit as good as the guys. They really are.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wouldn't-
Oh,
I wouldn't mind-
also, has anybody seen arena football?
I might have.
Anybody ever see arena football? Arena football is they have men's and women's teams, and they are literally in an arena that it kind of looks like a hockey rink, but with AstroTurf and without the high glass, and it just has like the outside wall around it.
Is it like rugby?
Kind of. It's football without very many pads.
So
And
it's
they
kind
have
of
like little
rugby.
shoulder pads or something like that, and that's it. And they play in fucking bikini pants. But when the guys play, guess what
It's
they're wearing? Their shit's
full
covered.
outfits and armor.
Well, no, I mean the padding is basically the same, but the women have like half tops and bikini bottoms, and the men have like full shirts and like bicycle type like football shorts.
It's like the time when they did the Star Wars film and they gave Captain Phasma armor, and they're like, well, we can't even tell that she's female. It was like, it's armor
You shouldn't
Right.
need to.
Well,
meant to cover
There
her
was-
body.
there was a thing a number of years ago that the former president of FIFA, a guy named Sepp Blatter, who was just a corrupt piece of shit, that guy, but actually said something about women's soccer. Said, how can, he was genuinely asked, how can it be made more popular? And he said, well, I think the women should wear like shorter, tighter shorts and stuff like that. And I'm like, what? Which is kind of ironic because one of the Women's World Cup a few years, this goes to show how much he actually really cares about this. All the women had to play on AstroTurf, and we're all getting third-degree bloody burns. The guys didn't have to play,
It's
So I remember
nuts.
the US women's teams kicked off big time about it.
Yeah, it's awful. Like, I train with like multiple women who are professional grapplers. Like, they do jujitsu professionally, and like the comments that are so different between, like, if you post a picture of your fight poster and your two dudes, and like you get a whole debate in the comments of like whose skill is better, who's going to win in the fight, all that, and then you post a picture of two women who are going to have a match, and all the comments are about, why can't I see her boobs? Why aren't her boobs bigger? And like, not about their fighting skill. And like, they're not there on the poster for you to look at their boobs. They're there on the poster because they're about to go kill each other on a mat. Like,
Yeah,
comment
like
on their
look at all the
skill.
comic books. Look at every comic out there. You show me how many women have small boobs. Because
Yeah.
Ox is right, and Ox hit the nail on the head with the hammer. Sex sells.
It makes me nuts. I actually need to fix my website, by the way, but I write a lot of stuff on my website. And one of the things, when the first Wonder Woman film came out with Gal Gadot, and it was based in World War II, I loved that film. I went and saw it in the theater 5 times. I'm like, why is this film important? I'm a huge geek. I don't know if you notice, I have stuff and things.
No, we didn't
behind
notice all the
me.
Pac-Man and Star Wars stuff behind you.
Or the Kevin Smith shoes, by the way. It's his
Kevin
birthday
Smith
right
shoes.
now.
Kevin
Melody,
Smith shoes.
I feel we're Twitter married. Kevin Smith. I've been in his living room and everything. I hung out with him and did podcast episodes. It was fun. He's a nice person.
Really?
But it's like, so it's like with Wonder Woman, one of the things that really made me so mad about Hollywood, they're like, well, all of the women-led superhero films fail. But they only make so many. They make like a teeny tiny amount, and some of them just absolutely are trash. They're terrible. They don't invest the time, they don't invest the writers or the money or anything that's needed to make those good movies. And
Right.
so when you look at how many male-led superhero films that have been made and how many of them have tanked, it's a disproportionate amount.
No, it's absolutely true. Yeah.
if you've never seen the original Nick Fury film with David Hasselhoff, oh my God.
Oh God,
It's like the Star Wars Christmas special, but worse. So it's like
if you
David
ever,
Hasselhoff as Nick Fury. Just think about that. What we have now is Samuel Jackson.
Dolph Lundgren is the Punisher. If anyone remembers that one.
Oh my
Oh
God.
God.
Awful.
Horrible.
Dolph
Horrible.
Lundgren did everything for like 3 years because of fucking Rocky, and then after that, just poof,
It's
like
terrible.
he's just gone.
But they,
Outside of the Superman and Batman films, have any of the DC comic films really been worth anything?
I think the first Wonder Woman film is great, and there's a lot of criticism here and there about that. But for me, being a person who grew up on all of this, I love Dark Phoenix. I love Jean Grey. I feel like I'm Jean Grey. I'm a bit Wonder Woman. I really enjoyed those films, particularly Wonder Woman, because there was so much parallel to what I've had to go through as a lady person in a boys' club.
Right.
There's a lot of parallel, like when she goes through no man's land and they're like, we can't go here. No man has made it like an inch, moved an inch. It's just like, well, you know what? This is what I'm here to do. This is my jam. I'm going to do this and y'all going to thank me later. And she does it. And I'm
Watch
just
this
like,
shit.
and she shows up and then there's dudes going, she's taking all the fire. I'm like, that's every woman in the history of the world has always taken all the fire for the dudes so they can get through. So I'm like, that's like every science woman, freaking Rosalind Franklin, whose birthday was a few days ago. Watson and Crick took all of her
Mel.
shit.
Oh,
and
Mel.
I'm just like, that's women map the stars, guys.
Wait a minute, Rosalind. First of all, I want to two things real quick. Who the hell is Rosalind Franklin? Number two, the other thing I want to say is women have been part of the space program, and women initially IT was a woman's job because it was considered administration. Yeah. And when they started building up, the men said, "Wait, we need to take over this."
Did I just hear who was Rosalind Franklin? Did I just hear that question?
Before you guys
I'm
answer
bad
that
with
question,
names.
Before you guys answer that question, no, I actually just say I've got a friend who is the niece of Rosalind Franklin. I was like, yeah.
Is she going into science? Please tell me that she's somewhere close to that.
No, Cricky, she's pretty much retired now anyway, but she's you would like her still. She's but yeah, she's been a friend of mine for a few years, and but I, she told me who her auntie was, and I was like, wow, and I'm not even a science person, but I was just like, if Rosalind Franklin is so important and got, obviously, it was years before she really got recognized for her contributions to discovering DNA, years after her death even. I mean, from what my friend tells me, the family's sort of kind of, I think, happy now that her contribution has been recognized, but
it's still kind of
should have got the Nobel Prize when she was alive,
Yes, absolutely.
She's
the one that discovered DNA.
She's the one that discovered the shape of DNA, and Watson and Crick took her data without her permission.
Assholes.
And they use that to put it together to figure out the helical structure of DNA with the hydrogen bonds between the different nucleic acids and how it makes that spiral shape. And so they were allowed access to her lab without her knowledge or her permission. And they looked at her data and they took that. And with that information, they were able to figure out the structure. They got published before she did. It was like a matter of a week or so. It wasn't like,
my God, dude.
And then, but they didn't have, of course, they didn't credit her or anything, from what I understand.
She got a nod in the paper, but she wasn't considered a co-author. It was we looked at this stuff from this person in this lab. Fuck her, whatever. So,
Yeah, it should have been first author.
And all the people who say that women are bad at math, computers used to be people before they were machines. And from the
Hidden
codebreakers in World
Figures!
War II through putting somebody on the moon in the Apollo program, most of them were women.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
We had a whole film called Hidden Figures, and it's like when I work at a community college. I don't work at Harvard or any kind of place like that. I work with people who come from poverty backgrounds. And so I sit there. I've had to deal with gatekeeping, and I'm a white woman. I can't imagine what it's like to be a black woman in science. My God, I'd want to
Oh,
shave
God.
my head to
I
keep from
couldn't.
pulling out my hair. I
Right.
couldn't do it. So I'm very honest with them, and that might cost me a job later. I've already been blacklisted, maybe because I said people suck, but okay, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna
Well, that's
die
just
someday,
like
so it's fine.
that's just like Purple brought up World War II. During World War II, when all the men were gone, who do you think fixed all the fucking ships
Radium
and worked
girl.
on the supply
Radium girl.
lines and everything to create all the? It was fucking women, because most of the men were gone to war. And during the war, they were like Rosie the Riveter, and after they were over there like hooray to the troops. And I'm like, what the? Who do you think?
Yeah.
Who do you think supported all the troops?
Women did stuff. Now go
My
back in
Nana
the
was one of those
kitchen.
people. My Nana was an underwater welder for the Navy during World War II in the Boston Harbor.
Oh,
You ain't gonna tell me she worked with fucking 47 men and they treated her like shit until the day that she got a full-size Lincoln welder up a scaffolding onto the 3rd fucking level by herself. And then it was
crazy.
Miss Imbriano after that. Do you need help, Miss Imbriano? We'll get that for you, Miss Imbriano.
Yeah, I will kick
Yeah.
your butt in.
She
your
was
balls,
5'1".
like,
5'1"
into the next
Italian.
week.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Fuck y'all.
It's just it's weird because it's like I come from a family of war heroes. Like my grandfather, but my grandfather. He has a silver star, and I managed to find his like posts that they have in like the World War II. I forget, it was like legacy project. But he saved the lives of 6 men going out when nobody else would do it. He wasn't ordered to do it. There were, bombs exploding everywhere, and the Nazis were in the water, and a few boats got hit, and there were people that were in like the water drowning. And they were like, well, we need to just leave them out there. And the Nazis knew that there were people in the water drowning. So they started screaming for help in English, trying to distract everyone to get them to go over there. And so my grandfather's like, no, I'm not going to leave these men behind. He wasn't recognized until the 70s. So it's like,
holy shit, 30 years too late.
I know. It was like in the 40s when this happened. He wasn't recognized till the 70s. And it's like, we have all these amazing people that have done these amazing things, but nobody in my family on both sides, bloodline, since we got off the boat in this country, has been college educated, except me, my brother, and my sister. And that's literally it. Nobody else. We
don't have many in our family either. I get it.
There's that.
We're not that bad, but close.
I mean, I saw a documentary recently about I forget what they call it, but they were like the women's flight auxiliary in Britain during the Second World War. These were the women who were pilots, essentially auxiliary pilots for the Royal Air Force. But and quite often they would be like delivering the planes or something to airfields for the pilots, and the thing was like because there was a bit of like, oh, we're not going to make women combat pilots kind of thing. That's a man, that's a man's job kind of attitude. Here's the thing: this is during the time we were regularly getting like the being bombed by the Luftwaffe and planes coming over there. Here's the thing: if there was they had a chance encounter of something for a German plane, and the women who couldn't defend themselves because they didn't let them put them any blooming. They gave them no munitions for the flights or anything. So if they got caught out, they had to run because they couldn't fight back.
Well, that's not ladylike.
And
No,
there's
that's not
there was
ladylike.
and there was one. I mean, there's one story I heard where I mean, what someone on like a like one of our anti-aircraft batteries that was on the coast or whatever, started firing at one of these women pilots because they couldn't bloody tell it was a Hawker Hurricane and not a Messerschmitt. This, but yeah, they were really like real unsung heroes of because I mean, there's always really sort of the pilots of the RAF are really celebrated in World War II, but in Britain, but the women did not get recognised until much later, and what they did.
Well, there was a female tank sergeant during. I think she was a tank sergeant during the war Desert Storm, during Desert Storm, that went in when she wasn't supposed to and saved 6 soldiers' lives because they were trapped. And she like strategically moved through the whole shit. Everybody with her lived, grabbed these 6 guys and got the fuck out of there because they were just destroying the whole area they were in and they were killing all kinds of soldiers. And it was like a brief passing news thing for like a day. She wasn't even supposed to be in the midst of it. She was just like backup support, right?
It's crazy because women often get kind of put to the side. Marie Curie is known for figuring out radiation and radium and all of that. Yep. But not many people know that she helped develop a portable X-ray during the World War so she could take it out onto the field because soldiers were getting their legs cut off for sprains or broken legs that could be healed. And so her daughter, who was a medical doctor, was like, please help me. And Marie was feeling kind of bad because we were finding out that radium and other types of chemicals had a high level or at least high energy electromagnetic radiation, whether it was gamma rays or something similar.
Is she the one that did a bunch of experiments on herself?
I don't think she did experiments on herself.
There was some scientist type woman in history that did experiments with stuff on herself and ended up killing herself, but it ended up being a good cause.
I don't know. I don't think
maybe that was had to do with the penicillin.
Sorry, I was just reading the chat that Spackle's absolutely right. Yeah, when there was a woman that was actually guilty of war crimes. Yes, a big deal was made of a bit then, but
look, Titan said it's pronounced Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey? Oh God. Not Marie Curie. There is a meme going around about that. So somebody wanted there was somebody
He's full of shit. Don't let's he's sarcastic.
No, for real.
No, the meme. I want to know about the meme that's going on. Yeah.
There's the meme. Because certain, like, if depending on your local grocery, I have Kroger's out here. So I could go to the Kroger and have them print out a picture of something and it would be edible and they could put it on a birthday cake. Somebody wanted a Mariah Carey birthday cake, but they got a Marie Curie birthday cake.
I would love a Marie Curie cake. Like that would make my day.
So much better.
That would make my day.
So yes, there is a meme going around about somebody ordering a Mariah Carey birthday cake and getting a Marie Curie.
Oh my God.
I love her though. She's like, if I ever get my website up again because it's messed up for some reason and I can't be bothered, I have t-shirts that have #crush and it's a picture of Marie Curie or Tesla.
For real though.
Yeah.
We were just having we had a round the horn question on Neil's after party the other day, and somebody had mentioned the question, like, if you could have a conversation with anyone, like living or dead, who would you pick? I picked Marie Curie. I would just love to hear what she has to say about things.
I bet she has a lot to say about things, particularly since she was denied to have lab space by a bunch of old white dudes.
I'd love to hear her side of a lot of things.
like, oh, there was this time that I couldn't get any lab space, and then other people came up to me. Yep.
See,
She
I would have
did.
picked somebody living because I find that dead people are very boring conversationalists.
I mean, that's true. That's valid.
She got the Nobel Prize twice.
In
not
physics
once.
and chemistry. Only person to win a
Yes.
Nobel Prize in physics and chemistry. I'm sure she was just worthless.
If you have a unit named after you, you done things.
Mhm.
She has Curies, which is related to radiation.
It's true.
Oh yeah, it was Ollie that asked that question.
Actually, DKH, there
You
are
get it,
memes
and it
about her
can-
glowing personality as well.
And,
Oh,
because it's certainly a cancer charity in her name as well. It's quite big.
okay. All I have to say is there's a video. I didn't play it this summer for my summer Gen Chem 1 class, but there's a video from the Curie Institute where it shows the different interactions of certain groups on the periodic table with each other, and it's fantastic.
Oh, Scientist Mill. Have you seen the video? It's a stupid YouTube video, but I love it. It's my favorite thing in the world. It's called "Shit Chemistry Undergrads Say."
No.
Oh my
you
god,
just
it's so funny. It's the grad students made this video to make fun of the undergrads that they TA for it. It's like, it was my favorite thing was they're like weighing out something, and they're like 3.5451 boiling stones, and I just like lost it.
Oh my goodness. I think,
Okay,
oh,
two quotes I have to say by Miss Curry. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so that we may fear less. And then the other one, which I'm glad I found, this is a great one. You cannot hope to build a better world without improving the individuals. To that end, each of us must work for our own improvement and, at the same time, share a general responsibility for all humanity.
yes.
That's good shit.
I just love that the channel that made this video is called ChemWipes 2012.
Actually, Holy Spackle, we were just talking about the female mathematicians that made the space program work. You came like right after we mentioned that.
Let me put a link to it's called Element Party.
Oh goodness.
Element Dance Party. And it is by the Curie Institute. But I love it because, why not? It talks about the different families of elements.
No, Titan. No.
Here. If you guys want to watch it, there's lots of dancing. Like when the alkali metals meet up with water, it's a party. It gets explosive.
Oh my god, speaking of that, there's a guy on Twitter, which of course, we always go to Twitter for our science advice.
That's right. At least that's what people ask me to do.
Yeah, no, it's like of course he's not actually a scientist or doctor or anything. Like he's some nutrition, health, wellness, fitness dude.
No.
Because they always are. And he was saying something about like supplementing your sodium or something, but he said like someone was trying to make sure he meant like that it should be in a salt form. And he was like, no, just plain sodium. And people are like, that's dangerous. I don't think you want to do that.
Ew.
Like, so clearly this person didn't know what they were talking about. Wonder if I can find that.
Can't get it now.
Oh my goodness.
Can't get it now, but I can get up. Can't get it now. Can't get it now, but I can get up. Walks up the stairs.
It's Carbon, yo.
I love this. I love this.
Can't get it now.
Carbon Ben is an elemental slut. But that's all right. I'm all for this.
4 hydrogens. Damn, you go, Carbon.
Noble gases do not bond.
Oxygen bonds itself. Yep.
Oh my goodness. Hydroxide. What's up?
She carried him away.
Now you've got water plus an alkali metal. They do.
The Joe mold.
I want to go to that party.
I want to go to that party too. That sounds awesome.
Oh my
love
God,
that.
that was
I love
fucking
that.
hilarious.
So much.
I didn't play it this summer. This is the first semester that I did not play that video. And I feel like I totally should. Maybe I'll do that on Wednesday.
Oh,
We do
Mel,
our exam review.
something for my brother. Could you talk more about how and what women mapped the stars for biblical reasons of Eve motivating Adam?
Oh. Okay. If you watch the new revamped version of Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson, he talks about Sisters of the Stars. That's one of the episodes. And he gets into a lot of the women. There were women who worked for professors. And what they would do is they would map the stars according to spectroscopy. So they could look through and you can see what the spectral fingerprint is of specific stars. And this is how we determine what stars are made of and what atmospheres are like on other planets by looking at their spectral signature. I have a prism somewhere around here, but I do have a thing. If I put like a gas tube in this, I could like make it light up and stuff.
Ooh, you could.
I could. I have two.
Yes.
I thought recently that I would have to like fill out a conflict of interest because of my science communication work, but my boss says I'm cool, so I guess it's okay. This is technically university equipment, but I'm more about asking for forgiveness instead of permission when I do things that are science related.
So, I have to say real quick, Ben, I feel like I need to start keeping track of how many people's minds we blow when they find out that Richard and I are related, that he's my brother.
Yeah, we do.
People are like, what? I mean, that's like number 8. That's like, what the fuck?
Also, I just want to hang out with Mel. Like, this is, I feel like, going to be a very beautiful
I love
friendship.
talking with Mel's great.
Oh,
It's
you
like-
guys are so sweet.
Well, because I'm a
It's
nerd.
true.
Mel's a nerd.
Do you catch Mel on Saturday mornings?
I try. I haven't had the opportunity.
It's hard, to be honest. I've been teaching Monday through Thursday this entire month, starting from 7:30 to 11:30 in the afternoon morning, because it's not an afternoon time. And it's like after that I have office hours. So I'm like, I love science, but I talk about it a lot.
So I found this guy that wants you to eat sodium. So I guess, well, he wrote a book about why you should sodium and water load before exercise. And number one, he doesn't know the difference between elemental sodium and sodium salt. And but also he's saying like, okay, yes, salt and water loading would increase your cardiac output, but it's also going to like spike your blood pressure. So like, I don't know why he's trying to say this is a good idea before exercise.
I don't
Like, it's
get
going
it.
to mess everything up. I mean, like, it's not going to be bad if you have like it in a reasonable dosage for your salt and your water, but like, I don't see anything revolutionary about like drinking a Gatorade before you run.
I mean, you do have depletion of some electrolytes when you exercise, but
Yeah, but he wrote a whole book about loading beforehand, and like I would need some data on these numbers of how much he's telling people to load, beforehand.
See, this is where
But-
you learn how to grift.
Yeah.
So this is helium. I know that's not really exciting, is it? It's not like it's yellow. Kneel before helium. I mean, it's like it's not really as cool. You know, maybe I needed an orchestra or something like John Williams or I don't know. And I do have mercury, but it's blue.
Mhm.
I stole
Reasonable Dosage is a good soft jazz band name. I don't think so.
I
maybe-
stole
maybe
this
like-
from
Maybe
the
like light
physics
rock,
department.
but I think you have to go at least rock with that one.
I forgot to tell my boss that I stole things from the physics department. He doesn't know.
Well, it's
But-
okay. You're over on my stream. Nobody sees you. It's okay. You're hidden.
You know, it's I really like their toys, and they were covered in like dust, and I'm like, you totally aren't using this. Do you really need this Van de Graaff generator? Do you really need these, you know, like spectroscopy little boxes of energy that I can shove things into and make them glow?
We love spectroscopy.
I know spectroscopy is so awesome. UV vis, ramen, all the things.
Oh my god, I'm having PTSD from undergrad.
Organic, right? It's organic chemistry, isn't it?
I don't want to see another mass spec ever again. Just kidding. I actually didn't mind. Okay. Ma-
I had a
Yeah, I didn't like mass
qualifying
spec very much.
exam. Oh my
I did not like
God.
mass spec very much.
I had an entire qualifying exam for my graduate degree just on mass spec.
I liked IR spec. That was kind of my jam.
Nanoparticles, those are great for IR.
Yeah.
Oh,
B's just
my-
like, what is going on right now?
everybody's like, I don't
chemistry,
understand the word.
Physics.
I'm just letting you two go. I told you when I don't know shit, I just shut the fuck up. Jeff did say he has to leave, so thank you, Jeff, for showing up.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate you.
No worries, B. Thanks for having me on. So,
Always,
no,
buddy.
I better go now. It is like 4 o'clock in the morning here, so you know.
Oh, well, yeah. You
Go
know,
to
sleep.
Good night, Jeff.
Yeah. Okay,
Night, buddy.
cool.
Peace
See you
out.
guys later. Bye.
All right, bye.
I guess I
Oh.
should put this tube away.
Well, I don't know. You guys, you know, HS and Richard, you guys ever want someone to host a talk for you guys? Because, you know, I mean, Richard doesn't really debate. He talks a lot, but you can debate him too if you want.
I hate debating because
Yeah, I don't like,
usually
I just like cool
Yeah.
conversation, back and forth,
that's
respect.
better in my
And you know my rule, don't be a dick. Yeah, so
It's gonna be somebody who's gonna actually be willing to engage honestly and like bring
Yeah.
data
Yeah.
and stuff.
Well,
debaters
anyways, if you guys ever
try.
want to
is
do
more
it,
about personality than about the subject.
Yeah.
if you guys ever want to do it, my Wednesday nights are open mics and I can make them into whatever the fuck I want. So if you ever want to talk on my channel, I will totally host that for you so you guys can just have a conversation, not have to worry about running the shit and the stream. So, yeah. No, yeah, you're right, Mac. He's not a dick. He's a Richard, and his nickname growing up was Rich because there is no D and K in Richard. And also, the only dick allowed on here is Dick Dawson.
Mhm.
Wow. All right.
I mean, just don't be a dick. You know, that's it.
Unless you're
Oh.
Dick Dawson.
Yeah,
Dick
unless you're Dick Dawson, then you can be Dick.
I think I was on another live stream with him once, and he's like, I need to get you on my show. I'm like, I don't know about that.
You should actually. You know what you should do is you should go on Saturday or Sunday nights with the ladies.
It depends on the ladies because
Oh no, it's like Vishanti. She's Jewish but loves facts and science stuff. Bad Astra, who was in here earlier, total science nut. Amy Hogan, who they debunk bullshit. That's what they do on Sunday
Okay.
nights. They talk a bunch of science bullshit that I mean science crap and debunk a bunch of bullshit that I don't know much about. So I'm just kind of comic relief. And then I told them, hey, Now my brother's going to find out. Listen up, Richard. I said, hey, I'm trans and I'm going to start transitioning soon. So you guys are going to have to take me off the Sunday nights with the ladies because that would just be not correct for me to be in there. You don't let any guys in there.
All the trans guys.
All the trans guys.
Well, we're going to pass each other in the middle, so I'll take your spot.
There you go. That's good, Purple. You're right. You're right,
Yeah,
because
let
you
Purple
usually
take a
aren't
shot.
on Sundays because, see, we'll just swap. But no, seriously, it's a great conversation, and Dick just does the producing and runs the videos and stuff, and Amy's in charge, and it's all just a bunch of women talking about all this crap. They go into crystals, they go into space stuff, they go into ancient alien stuff. They
The
go
stuff
into all,
yesterday was.
and all you have to do is like say, hey, I want to be on, and he'll totally have you on. And then if you want to bring a video with you that you want to debunk and talk about with everybody, then they, everybody brings a video with them kind of thing. And then they just discuss it. So
it's always like kind of on the line with
this is why I love my theist brother right here. Shocking. Were you ever not actually trans? When I came out to my brother, look, let me tell you, I called everybody in order of oldest to youngest. I called everybody in my family. So the last one I called was my brother Richard because he's right above me in order. And I said, hey, blah, 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 I'm going to date women. I'm gay. And he said, oh, okay. Oh, so I got a little brother. And I was like, right. And he goes, wait. Oh, wait a minute. I always had a little brother. And I said, right.
Aww.
So he was totally like, cool. Okay, we can go pick up chicks together. Let's do it, Oh.
That's cool, though.
If there's anything anyone can do to help along the way, just say so. It's a hard path. Ox, I really appreciate that. And I honestly appreciate the fact that this is the third time I've mentioned this on a live stream in the last week. And I've got nothing but love and support. And so I really appreciate all you guys for that. And I am lucky enough that I just so happened to get a job where one of the doctors is a hormone specialist. So she is now my doctor, and I asked her to be my doctor before she knew that I was going to transition because I said, hormone specialist? What? And by the way, Ben, she told me, don't worry about it. She'll make sure I'm taken care of at low cost.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. That's
so
I
ditched the online doc, and she said, I got you. Don't.
No, that's even better.
So I think if she can, she'll probably try to get some in at cost or, help me out with that or, so I won't be paying a lot of money out.
This community has been great about that. I keep being a bit nervous because there's like people I haven't talked to since I came out. So it's like every week I'm running into somebody and wondering what their reaction will be.
Yeah.
And really have not had a bad reaction from anyone in the community. The strangest one was that Jen told someone I was transitioning. I won't say who it was. And their response was, which direction? They've known me for 2 years and had never figured out what gender I was.
I have to admit something. Because I didn't want to hurt Purple's feelings, the one time that Purple caught me doing this, I tried to cover it up because I was afraid of hurting feelings. But every time I've ever thought of Purple, I thought she. And it's been like that since the day I met you.
You're
and
not
I don't know why. I've seen your face. I've seen your beard, your longer hair with the full beard. I've seen all that. But yet, throughout the entire time I've known you, which has been 2 years now, or year and a half now, I have always gone she in my head and had to correct it.
You're not.
And I was really afraid to offend you. So I said, oh no, I was talking about the gens. Because I was like, fuck.
One of the other creators that I'm in the side chat to their live stream a lot, and for 3 years their wife has been calling me she. I've never bothered to correct it.
To your answer, Richard, he said, "Is there no insurance support for transitioning in the U.S.?" First of all, depends on the insurance you have and what state you're in. If they're going to help you at all,
yes.
But usually the hormones themselves you have to pay out of pocket. So my son, he can go to the doctor and he goes to the therapist. That's what they require in Ohio. You have to go to a therapist. You have to live as the gender you identify as for over a year. And
which
you
is
have to have the
hell.
hormone therapy going on for a year before you can change your name and all that stuff and go through all that.
Well,
quite honestly, considered a guy. So he's doing all that and his insurance covers that. but I think he has to pay for the hormones out of pocket.
Quite
But
honestly,
also,
part
like-
of why I'm doing this now is when I was living in New York with my fiance, could not get anything at all covered. They would not cover
Aw.
a single cent of it. In Minnesota, it's all going to be covered.
Oh, I'm sorry, Purple. I got distracted by the chat. Can you say that again?
When I was living in New York with my fiance,
Right.
they would not cover a dime of it. So
Really?
that's why it got put off even longer there.
Well, yeah.
I got to Minnesota and, I had kind of given up on the whole issue and found out that, in Minnesota, basically it can all be covered.
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But see, it's not like that everywhere. It also depends on what insurance you have, I mean, if you have like government or state or commercial, and let's say it's Aetna and they're anti-gay, they're not going to fucking help you. They don't have to. They don't have to provide those services.
It's absolutely ridiculous how you have to live in hell to prove that you're trans enough to get medically treated for it. Like, you're going to tell somebody who doesn't pass as their gender that they have to go live as their gender, but they aren't allowed to change anything physically or their name or their gender marker or anything. And like, do you know how many people get murdered because of that? Like, not even an exaggeration. Like, people get murdered
Not a joke.
because they don't pass. And so like, you're telling somebody, oh, well, you have to prove that you're trans enough before we'll let you like get these interventions. Like, no, they need them to stay alive. These are life-saving treatments and they need to be taken seriously. So like, the fact that people are just like, oh, you just have to wait. Like, no, we should not have to wait.
So for you people that know very little about this, I have been learning stuff in this last 2 weeks. And one of the things I found out is that in utero, when the baby is starting to form, the gender is formed and the hormones are formed. They are formed separately. So the fact that someone who is male starts taking estrogen and feels better and their body works better and they have more energy and they have less stress and less anxiety and all this stuff. Same way with women that start taking testosterone.
Go watch my videos.
They feel better. And
videos on
the anxiety attacks slow down and all this stuff. It just because you're born, assigned at birth, AAB, a male, does not mean that's what your hormones are like. So that is the start of enough proof for me that everybody can kiss my fucking ass. But go ahead, Ben.
My entire channel is about embryology and biological sex, so please go watch it.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Here's my emphasis.
Yes, but yet an old housewife can walk in, get plastic surgery, and nothing is said. Absolutely, Ox, and they fucking cover all of it, and they will fucking cover it because she has an issue with her body and she's sad. So so men can go get Cialis because they can't get a hard on, right?
If I had the money that Madonna and Cher did, I would totally do the same thing. I'm not even gonna lie, and I'm not.
Yeah, but no, and that's fine. I'm not judging that. If you want to do that, it's your body. Do whatever the fuck you want with it. I don't give a shit. There's like Slim Cyborg. He's got piercings all over his face. I would never do that, but it kind of suits Slim actually after you get to know him a little bit.
Fair.
It just suits him. He's perfect with that shit. It really is him, and that's fine. I don't have anything against that. I have something against the insurance companies that the doctors not want to perform these things because it's against their religion or it's against this or that. But they don't care that there's trans people out there that are like committing suicide because they have to wear a fucking dress and go to church every day and they're fucking miserable with themselves and they're like either contemplating suicide or have tried it or will probably try it. It's hard to live.
Gender fluid folks. When you consider gender fluid people who
anybody that goes against what the society and religion says we're supposed to be. It's hard.
People love to come to my channel and yell at me in the name of non-maleficence and do no harm. Like, do people not understand? In our 4 core medical ethics, autonomy is on the list of medical ethics. Autonomy needs to be respected. It is somebody's body. We do not do procedures. It does not matter. Like if someone, ignoring the cases of implied consent, but if someone is able to make a decision and they are telling us that they want to make a certain decision, it's none of my business to tell them that they can't do that with their body. Like, it does not, if they don't want to have cancer treatment, like I can talk to them about it, but they don't have to get it. But like, autonomy is important. We have to respect autonomy. And so you cannot tell me that do no harm excludes autonomy. So like,
Agreed.
Do I need to go and
Absolutely.
find people and like fight them right now?
Like,
Because
I
I
had
can
somebody
probably do that.
on my, like, and this person came to my channel, and I took so much time to argue with this person, because normally, like, you can just walk away and be like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. But this person was asking these questions because he has a child who needs puberty blockers to transition. And so I have somebody in my chat who is trying to deny his own child necessary health care. I'm like, this is a time when I need to argue on the internet. And so I'm like trying to be as gentle as I can. And over this person, like, I think he means well, but he's just incredibly misinformed and trying to say that puberty blockers are the same thing as castration. And like, it's not. And like,
It's
puberty
not
blockers are reversible. HRT is not really reversible. So like, we're trying to prevent irreversible things from happening. And just because someone goes on a puberty blocker does not mean that they're going to have genital surgery. And we don't do genital surgeries on children. We do them on adults when they can consent to the procedure. So we wait until they're adults, and then they can make that decision. But giving a puberty blocker does not mean you're going to operate on a child.
And by the way, just to clarify, a lot of kids benefit from puberty blockers because they start going through puberty too soon and it fucks up their bodies. And they use it all the time. So kiss my ass.
Okay. All I got to say is,
Rant over.
it's really hard to not get full Hulk in here. And I have the Hulk like literally right here. I could totally be.
I'm going to need another White Claw for this.
Ox said, rant, go Ben, go.
But I also have Iron Man and Black Widow, Laura Croft, Princess Leia, and Boba Fett. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so people make me very, very upset. And when I'm watching the things in the world associated particularly with trans people, it really makes me nuts because I actually taught in a high school where they had a trans boy, and he had exclusively his own separate bathroom because he couldn't go in with the girls, he couldn't go in with the boys, that wasn't allowed. So he used the faculty restroom, which was unisex. I mean, it's literally one toilet and that's it. And then it has the lock on the door. So that was the bathroom he was allowed to use.
Jesus.
And that was like right by the office. It was the only, it's the only faculty bathroom because it's right by the freaking office. So you could be on another part of the campus and have to run to get to the single faculty bathroom. And it makes me nuts because I want to scream. Like, I'm so glad I don't teach high school anymore out here because I want to punch the wall, put my head through it. I was accused of being Antifa and having agenda because I wanted to give free masks to my neighbors. So it's,
oh my God.
It's like, so these people even didn't believe that I taught their kids biology, even though I did for 4 years in this freaking southern county. So it makes me nuts because I've had to pull in advocacy groups where I live for kids who had their civil rights trampled because the school district ignored their diagnosis, or you have trans kids who can't use the bathroom like other kids because they're different or weird or whatever. So
and it's ridiculous because they want to like bash trans people and say, I don't want a guy in the ladies' room, or I don't want a lady in the men's room. But then if you walk in, like, everybody thinks I'm a dude, and if I walked into a men's room and they saw my boobs, they would be fucking beating the shit out of me for being in there.
And
so
then
what do
if
you do?
Go into the ladies'
It's ridiculous. And why don't we have unisex bathrooms? You know, overseas they don't have like all these split up fucking bathrooms. It's us over here that do that. All you'd have to do is put like 4 bathrooms in that are unisex. 4 different little rooms. That's all you'd have to fucking do. I mean, how many times you go into a retail store and you see more than 4 people in it there at once anyways? It'll be fine. Everybody can wait a few minutes to take a piss. It'll be fine.
Can I address the question in the chat?
And by the way, she added to that the question of developmental delay. Go ahead.
Yeah, those kind of go together. So leuprolide is a GnRH agonist. I have a whole video about what that means. But you're essentially using negative feedback to stop production of LH and FSH in your pituitary to prevent puberty. So basically, you would stop puberty for a little bit, but then you're going to continue your normal puberty as it would if you took a person off of the puberty blocker. Usually within after about 6 months is when they say you start getting things going back to normal. So my understanding is that you would have full development that you would have. It would just be delayed from your peers. So you would still go through your full development. It's just your timeline has now been shifted in one direction. And then if we were to leave somebody on a puberty blocker, let's say if someone wanted to transition, what we do, so there are, they're saying like the safe window is about 2 years that it's safe to be on a puberty blocker by itself. And this is where people will give you a lot of arguments about saying, oh, well, puberty blockers will cause like bone mineral density issues and stuff. Like, yes, if you keep them on it longer than the recommended period, which we don't do by itself. If we're going to use it throughout puberty, we would also use HRT at the same time, which would counteract the issues with the bone mineral density. So we're not using things alone. We're using them with other medications that would help alleviate side effects, if any of that helps.
No, that does help. Thank you. And Holy Spackle said, thanks for clearing that up. That helps a lot.
I do have a few more videos coming down the line about that. So like, if I haven't answered everything yet, I will be getting up more videos on that.
You know, I personally think that we should all have single stall bathrooms anyways, because I don't want to be in a bathroom with someone else when I'm taking a shit. I want my own privacy. So I am totally okay with just having 4 to 6 bathrooms, lined up in a row. They take up so much space in those places. And anyways, it's fucking ridiculous. Like nobody should have to go to Home Depot and you don't need 10, 8 stalls in each bathroom. 16 people taking a shit at once? I doubt it,
Well, why can't we just have, all the individual stalls that have full-length doors so nobody's peeking under them?
That would be nice. And
then you come out to where the sink is, because it doesn't matter who you're standing next to when you're washing your hands.
Yeah, just floor to ceiling, like cube. And I've been in a place, I can't remember where I was. What state was I in? I went into a bathroom, public bathroom. I think it was when I was on my way here from Ohio, one of the states I stopped in. I don't know, one of the 12 states I stopped in to piss or whatever. And you walked in and they had, it was like a McDonald's or a Wendy's, and they had floor to ceiling stalls with full doors. And I was like, this is fucking amazing. Now it wouldn't matter who's at the goddamn sink washing their hands because nobody could see anything anyways. I think men are afraid that women are going to see how small their dicks are. That's what I think it is. It's always something to do with their fucking penis size.
Well, and men are afraid of other guys checking them out anyway, so.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous. Like and then the urinals we give them are so fucking tiny and stupid, and they can't hit them anyways. So I think that if you want to go take a piss and you're a dude, go in the fucking stall and piss in the goddamn toilet. Sit down so you don't miss. I'm good with that.
But what if a trans person wants to wash her hands next to me and I'm uncomfortable?
Oh, come on. I will smack you, Ben.
I'm gonna see your
devil's advocate.
To see your genitals so I can like alleviate fears I have.
Yeah, because nobody.
So I can make sure
we
that
all
you're not
have
going
different
to assault
genitals.
me
None of them are the same. None of them.
Yeah, it's like the idea too that like people think that like we have bathroom attendants at all anymore, to where it's like, yeah, well, but if they didn't say that they were trans, they wouldn't have been able to go in and assault a person. Like, no, they do that anyway. Like, anyone who wants to walk into a bathroom will walk in there. And if someone wants to assault somebody, they will assault somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, perverts don't walk in with a bunch of people there. They wait for one kid to be in there by themselves, and they don't give a fuck which bathroom they walk in. Like, if they want to like steal a kid, they're going to walk into whatever fucking bathroom. I had a guy at a state park. I walked in as this little blonde girl was walking out, and I just kind of like smiled at her, like, and nodded, you know, and walked by her and went to the bathroom. And I come out, and there's her dad coming across the fucking campground at me, like ready to beat my ass. And he got close to me. He goes, "Oh," because he was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Me? Who are you yelling at right now?" And so he walked towards me, and we got close enough. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. My daughter thought you were a male." I said, "No, you know what? I'm okay with that. Every little girl should speak up for themselves. And if they feel unsafe, they should absolutely run to the nearest adult they feel safe with. I have no problem with that. Good for you for being a good dad." You know, because shit like that happens. And he let her walk, you know, 50, 60 feet away to the bathroom. He could see the door, you know. But he didn't, you know, he didn't think anything of me walking in, and she thought I was a guy. And I'm okay with that. That's fine. Absolutely check it out. You know, protect your child. Fuck yeah, you should. But, you know, perverts don't do that shit in front of other people. You're not going to catch them doing it. Don't let your kids go in the bathroom by themselves. That's the clue. You know, we all the time, mothers bring sons into the women's bathroom. Dads bring little girls into the boys' bath. It happens all the fucking time. It's not a big deal. If we quit stigmatizing it and raising them that it's bad, it wouldn't fucking matter right now. Okay, I'm sorry. I got into another rant.
I love Marie's
I feel a little passionate about this topic.
It's okay.
I love Marie's comment.
If there's no available stalls in the women's, I straight up go into the men's. If someone says something, I just pretend it was an accident. Whoops. Maya said the same thing. Maya said, "I'll just walk in that fucking men's room if I got to pee bad enough and the stalls are full." She's like, "Fuck it."
have done.
It's always, the stalls are always empty in the men's room.
I'm not even ashamed to admit that. I've done that a couple of times because the women's line was really long. And to be fair, you do take one for the team when you go into the men's because it's always so freaking gross. There's like pee on the floor and the walls, and you're like, oh my gosh, how do you guys even people in here, let alone pee in a hole?
For real. Like, that's something that, like, because I'm a dude, I'm a trans dude, and like, there's nothing that says that masculinity has to mean that you're gross. Hygiene has no gender.
Yes.
Hygiene is hygiene.
Yes, wash
like,
your hands,
you
clean
keep
your
a
ass.
room clean. Yeah, clean the bathroom, clean yourself. Like, I don't know what's so hard about that.
I think that's the real issue with having the unisex bathrooms is that, yeah, men would actually have to start paying attention to what they're doing, or the women would be beating their asses every day.
And then they'd be like, "You mean I can't wash my penis and testicles in the sink? But it's slow enough. Oh, that's for, you know, like wheelchair access. Oh, I thought that just meant it was for me to put my junk there, you know, and wash it, because that's what we do in the dude
Mel, you're
land.
really turning my stomach. I gotta eat dinner eventually. You gotta. Can't say that.
Although, the point of fact, if a man brings like an 8-year-old girl into the men's room, guys get really weird.
Oh, I know. Oh, I'm sure they do. I see women get weird when somebody brings like a 6 or 8-year-old boy in with them, or you know, anything from that age up is like,
just like,
oh my god, you know, don't, you know, I've even seen guys take their daughter, because, you know, like the men's room is always more open in like the foyer area than the women's. Like, we need more privacy. I don't know what it is. And I want to say before I go on this rant, yes, I agree with you, Ox and Purple. Most of the guys worried that they will find a woman attractive and realize she is trans. Ox had said they're afraid they're going to look at a woman, realize she's trans, and say, "Damn, my shit at home doesn't look that good." And yes, there is, hygiene has no gender. But, you know, I've seen guys walk in and then like cup around their daughter's eyes so they can only see down, just out of respect for their child and for to keep the child from seeing anything that they're too young to see. And so the guys don't feel uncomfortable. And I don't see anything wrong with that. That's fine. If that's what you want to do with your kid, that's, you're the parent. Do that then, that's fine. But people shouldn't be freaking out about this shit. And when I say unisex bathrooms, I don't mean like a big bathroom where everybody just goes in. I mean like separate bathrooms that are labeled unisex on the outside, like the one with the cape and the one with the pants. Right. Both of those on the door.
Well, and the whole thing with bathrooms really has changed a lot. That, I was raising a lot of little girls in the 90s. And there weren't unisex bathrooms. They weren't an option. They didn't have changing tables in the men's room. You ever try to change a squirming baby balancing them on the edge of a sink?
But they changed that now because they realize there's a lot of fucking dads out there taking care of kids.
Yeah, but that's all since the 90s. None of that was going on when I was raising kids.
No, hell no, not back then. I was help raising my nieces and nephews and stuff in the early 90s. Like, absolutely. Actually, most of the way through the 90s. Yeah, no, that shit didn't exist. It didn't. That's for sure. And yes, Ben, that is fucking nasty. You want to pee in your own shower at home, that's on you. Just let me know. I won't wash in there. But definitely do not pee in a fucking sink, you sick bastards. Especially since there's... Okay, so I'm driving down the road the other day, and this fucking guy is on a bicycle, and he had just pulled off the road into like a little grassy, gravelly area, right, by the edge of a field. And like 15 feet away, there's a tree. He just turned around and just whipped it out right there and just was pissing next to his bike. I'm like, really, dude? There's a tree right there.
It could have been for a Fast and Furious franchise. We don't know. Maybe that was like roped in.
I piss fast and furiously. Watch me piss fast. It's because I have a large penis.
The family that pees together stays together, I guess.
I mean, I've peed in the woods. I've peed under a tree. I was a truck driver. I've peed all over I-80. If anybody drives down I-80, I-94, I've peed on those. I've peed on 90.
That sounds like a Johnny Cash cover
I-81,
album.
a lot. I've peed on the side of all those roads in probably every single fucking state out there.
You have made... Okay.
But
we need to do a Johnny Cash cover album called I Peed All Over the Highway.
Well, you only need 4 chords. We can do that.
Now, see
how the conversation just looped right back around? Isn't that amazing?
Hey, because
now we're getting to the real root of the issue here. The problem with the bathrooms is deforestation.
Bears don't have a place to pee anymore either.
Yeah. If we had trees everywhere, we wouldn't have to be talking about unisex bathrooms.
Yeah, because they just have the bathroom for like women and shitting, and then the guys can just pee out the bushes.
Now,
I'm okay with peeing. I'll stick my ass under a bush. I don't give a fuck. I wish I could pee standing up.
Unibear bathrooms now. It's not just unisex bathrooms. It's unibear bathrooms.
Yeah, unibear. You should have a picture of bears on there. Every animal. Like, it would look like Noah's Ark.
But
single.
Possums going in. But that's, oh gosh, the bears could totally eat the possums, so that might not work so great. PR.
This is just Noah's Ark. This is just, what have we done? What have we done?
It's Noah's Ark Cartoon Network version, I'm thinking. I'm trying here. It's fine.
Yeah, holy speckle, let me just say a couple of things. First of all, I think it's really fucked up that they have a round trough for guys to pee in and they all have to look at each other's junk. A lot of us are very personal about our private parts. So I do not think that's cool that they even have that. The other thing I want to say is, yes, I would love to compare orgasms, and I would also like to fuck someone with a penis. That would be great. So until the day comes where you can feel that shit and have sex and feel it, I don't see any sense in having fucking surgery, because what the fuck's the point? Like, if it's just going to be there in the way, catching zippers.
I would love to get surgery. The problem is, like, it's so risky.
No, it is really risky. Well, that's my point. Yeah. Why take that kind of a risk when you're not going to get the results you want?
Fucking why do it? Also develop an OnlyFans account to where you do different things in order to get the money to try out the things that you want.
That's true. We can both get surgery paid for and fixed with your gloves. Ben, get on it.
My gloves.
We need money. We need money, man. Do it.
Oh
God,
my
those
goodness.
gloves.
I can get on there.
genitalia-
Hey, if you want, if it makes you feel better, I can put on work gloves and like get a saw. We could take turns.
I could
Male
work it.
genitalia is
Only gloves.
definitely one of the top 5 arguments
saws.
against intelligent design.
I'm sorry, Purple. I was too because Ben and I are stupid. What, Perps?
Male genitalia is definitely one of the top 5 arguments against intelligent design. You know,
Yeah, it's true.
just- yeah,
Yeah, like who the fuck did that?
too painful
Yeah.
and too much damage. The
Yeah,
only
balls
reason,
hanging out.
The only
Yeah.
reason it works in an evolutionary sense is in mammals, you only need one functional male for every 7 to 10 females, and the species doesn't care beyond that.
Okay. Touche.
You know,
Yes,
The
it does
people-
count, Randy. It does count.
the people we should ask about sexual interactions would probably, the top of the list would be David Attenborough. If you don't know who that is, that's like the Mr. Rogers of biological science who talks about animals in London. And so it makes him sound super important with that British accent. I'm just saying. But after that, Professor Brian from Manchester University. I like his physics talk, and I might have a slight crush. And I have like threatened to break into Manchester University to watch one of his lectures, and they told me not to do that on their Twitter. So,
They frown upon that, Mel.
they're
Mel,
like,
you're my new favorite YouTuber of all time. I'm sorry, B. I love you, but
It's okay. Mel's great. I can't compete. I know.
I'm sorry.
She's way smarter than I am. We're charismatic too.
I was like, Professor Brian teaches physics at Manchester University in the UK. I'm totally gonna crash his lectures because reasons, why not? And Manchester U's like, we love him too. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Don't like crash his lecture. And I'm just like, but it's Professor Brian.
You know, Ox Ben's pants are down can also be put into that statement there. I'm just saying.
I'm not even an astrophysicist. I really had a horrible understanding of physics. And then I watched Professor Brian Cox from Manchester University say science words, and everything was fantastic after that. I'm like, the world is beautiful, and there's music, and maybe angels are real. I don't know. But Professor Brian said physics words.
Mel, that was the other thing. Like, I'd love to do just like some content with you. I have this dream of getting a bunch of sciencey people together for a live stream to just do thought experiments.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Like, I wanted to, and you like superheroes too, so this is perfect.
I
do. I want to get people, and we had this whole discussion, so we don't have to go down that entire thing again. But
The whole yeah.
it was like, what would you have to do, like, to modify a human to actually give them real life superpowers?
I talked about that when I was teaching biology, about which X-Men could actually be plausible.
Like, if we broke it down even into like its really complicated pieces, like what would the muscle mass have to be? Like, what would cardiac output have to be? Like, what would metabolism have to be? Like, you could break this down in so many different ways, and then you have the engineering
How much
people
energy
that
would be expended,
and then like what structure would make sense? Like, you get the engineers involved, like how you could actually make it happen. Like, I think it'd be fun to just get a panel of people to like debate this stuff.
See, I had like a several day argument about the Wayne tech through like Bruce Wayne and his gear. I'm like, how does the physics work? I'm like, well, if he's falling at this amount of rate on speed and then he's gonna hit a car and he's gonna crash, it's like amazing.
It's gonna just be a bunch of nerds doing math on a live stream is what it's really gonna come down to. Let's be real.
And everybody else would be like, "Oh gosh, this is so hot. I wish that was me."
See, I have another thought experiment that like is less entertaining, but I think it'd be fun to just calculate out. Would be what would the rate of metabolism have to be to make a human spontaneously combust?
Oh my gosh.
Assuming resources are unlimited, everything's unlimited, just the rate. We're talking about the rate.
How fast they can explode into flames.
Yeah, because you need friction, right? Well, you have oxygen. You have unlimited oxygen.
Yeah, the
you need friction.
Right.
And you're producing friction.
Well, it's what are you actually doing with the body there?
Well, with your metabolism, like you're making heat. You are like we have ways to get a spark, right?
Oh, so okay, now we're getting the thermo. So if you have a person that's having sex with another person, that's the only thing. That's the only way that I can sort this, because nobody generates a lot of heat by themselves to where they just randomly explode.
No, that's the point. That's the point. We would need to mess with the rate of metabolism.
Well, if you mess with someone's glucose, they will get hot as well. You could also throw that in.
That's the point. That's where we're going with metabolism. Just their metabolic.
Nobody else. Oh boy, this okay.
Well, as far as
drawing from my lectures from the past, like today and last Friday,
we could do this math.
Hey, Purple.
Oh, I know. I've had
while Mel's thinking, Purple, what were you gonna say?
Rum and.
Well, just Mel was saying about one person not generating friction on their own, and it's like, men masturbating can get there.
That's true, and also rubbing your butt on a green field. I mean, you're not
new thought experiment.
Okay.
Could masturbation theoretically cause a human to spontaneously combust?
Oh my goodness. Well, I suppose
I think that's gigawatts, not jizzawatts. DKH.
We're gonna have a science live stream. We're gonna plan this thing out.
Well, I think the problem is that people are basically a bag of water. So it's going to be hard to combust unless you can evaporate most of the liquid first.
But if your sole purpose as a human is to be a conductive agent in transporting electricity from point A to point B, being yourself, then it doesn't matter how much liquid you are. You're still full of ions.
What if I just like ruined everything right here and just said, what if I just defined everything as a point mass?
Why do you want to make stuff hard?
I'm totally kidding. I had to be the physicist for a second and be like, well, just define it as a point mass.
Nobody else gets it. And they're not even laughing except us.
We'll have to have a separate stream for this where we can make stupid science jokes the entire time.
Oh my gosh, I have a hadron for this.
I thought I met the Flash once. Turned out to be a guy in an overcoat instead.
Oh my god!
Randy always got the dad jokes. And yes, Ox, I'm hitting that shit because my bosses don't give a fuck and they know I smoke, so I don't have to fucking hide it.
See, my joke was funny, but only one person got it. So.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Okay. Now, see that would be another part of this whole thing is that would it be possible for someone to run as fast as the Flash without spontaneously combusting due to the friction from their legs?
Maybe the Flash has like super duper non-conducting material in there.
He could have things that are non-conductors. Sure.
You just put aluminum in there, right?
Maybe. You would want to go for more materials that couldn't be combustible. And did have the ability to have what's the word? It's not conduction. It's the ability to stop that.
Insulation.
Insulation. That's the word. High levels of insulation. That's what you want to go with for that. Oh my
We're
god.
having too much fun.
Talking about superhero costumes, Peter Parker is never given enough credit for his sewing skills. He made his first Spider-Man suit all on his own.
I know, it was pretty good. It's pretty inventive.
It's not something you expect of a teenage boy. He should get credit for that.
It's true.
That's true.
That's why I always thought he was gay. I mean, that motherfucker could use a needle. But you could chalk it up to being raised by his grandmother, so.
Yeah,
or whoever. Aunt?
Or, yeah, his aunt.
Whatever. Older lady. Same
Aunt
thing.
B. And Uncle Ben.
Who was the aunt?
His
Aunt
uncle who died
Oh,
from being
that's
shot
right.
to death.
Yeah. Because of him. Right.
Yeah, because of him was Uncle Ben. And you can
That's
buy
right.
Uncle Ben's rice.
Not the same Uncle Ben.
Not the same, but it's still fun to play with that for words and stuff. So
Maybe I'm Uncle Ben and it's my rice.
I mean, you know,
I will
usually when
Uncle
someone
Ben
says
your
Uncle Ben, it
ass.
sounds like the pervert guy next door. I don't think you should.
This
use
is
that
so
word,
true.
buddy. Don't.
I mean,
not-
that could
yeah.
be turned.
I just
into
want
a
rice.
word.
I just want
If it
some
sounds
rice.
too much like a white guy name, you can't put Uncle in front of it. Then everybody's like,
This is true.
Uncle Bob, huh? Right.
It feels
Uncle
like
Harry.
Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben will be like, I will Uncle Ben your ass into next week if you don't do what I tell you to do. It's
Damn.
okay. I will.
Uncle
be
Ben's
Uncle
intense.
Ben. Oh, he's a bit rough. So- I will
Oh, my
Uncle
goodness.
Ben AF or TF out of you.
TF.
I will Uncle Ben the TF out of you.
Melo's just so intense.
Let's call Quentin Tarantino and make 3 films. That's single moments. His movies suck. I'm sorry. Many people like him. I don't. It's fine. I apologize right now. Or maybe I don't.
No, you don't.
Alex said the reason that Iron Man and Batman have all the big toys is because they have little dick syndrome.
Oh.
Yeah, Uncle Whitey. Yes, doorknob. That is perfect. Uncle Whitey. I actually grew up with a guy down the road, and everybody called him Whitey. And I don't remember what his last name was, if it was White or something like that, or something close to that. But everybody called him Whitey, and he was actually a really nice old guy who would never hurt a fly. But yeah, Uncle Whitey would be just about perfect for the stereotype. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
But we never called him Uncle. It was just Whitey. Didn't have any Uncle Bens either.
I have so
Thank
many
God.
thoughts in my head and I don't know what to do with them. It's
Oh
like,
no.
this-
That's the scariest thing.
I'm a DC villain, I guess.
Maybe we should not do the thought experiments then, because then you'll make these things real, and then
It'll come to be somehow because when I say words, they come to life. Is that what it is?
Beetlejuice. Oh, sorry.
it's like how I've talked on a few streams now about how it's totally possible and really would not be hard to make a glow in the dark baby, but apparently that's unethical.
Ethical,
Like, it'd be-
smethical.
It'd be easy.
It would be so easy because
You never lose that
know,
kid at the
Because
campground.
we already make things glow in the dark. We do that
Hide and
with
seek
like
would be
fish.
so much
we do
easier.
that with so many other things. Like it would be so easy to do with a baby, but yeah, they would lose at hide and seek, and it would be so sad and not
Oh my
ethical.
goodness.
We'd get our funding taken away, but it'd be so easy.
Well,
but
actually,
it would
Lonnie
be
nice.
so wonderful because oh my god,
Right? Because it would be glow in the dark baby.
I know.
Well, how would that not be cool?
But you could make it to where it wasn't permanent. You could just administer messenger RNA to where all the cells in the skin read that coding for the phosphorescence,
True, yeah.
The glowing, all of that. And then it could be like short-lived according to how long their cells read that messenger RNA before.
Yeah, because it depends on where you inserted it, like and how if
you
it was
like
RNA or if it was DNA. Yeah. And then
it could be like it could be like a rite of passage. Mom, I don't glow anymore. Oh, son, you're growing up so fast. And back
okay, so this is like this is like the B squad of superheroes that we're not sure if we can do the Human Torch, but we can do the Human Nightlight.
No, Ox, we don't discriminate by gender. All children are greenish blue.
Jubilee in the X-Men cartoons. That's all I'm gonna say.
There you go. Yes.
I just love how Mel was on board with my idea. So.
I love it.
It's great.
Now, Mel, and you need to get together and figure out how to do it because that's not my shit.
I wish I wasn't an evil Marvel genius because apparently that's what I am.
Like, we already know how to do this stuff. Like, it'd be really easy. Like, I mean, my preferred method would be actin filaments, but I don't know.
Yeah, you guys should start out with like rats or something because people don't really care as much about those, but you'd sell the shit out of them. I mean, they use rats and mice for, cosmetics.
We already do it with fish and shit. Like, we already do it with things.
Yeah. Neon tetras?
Neon tetras. Yes.
Yeah.
They are.
Do you guys think they're born like that?
Yeah, they have literally made glow-in-the-dark fish now.
They have. You're correct.
No, Ralph, don't try to break the baby in half and shake it. Once it stops glowing, it's just done.
Oh my god.
You are a dark fucker, DKH, but I love you, man.
I haven't seen a dark show since 9 Inch Nails from a couple of years ago, but I'm just saying it was a really good show, and I want to do that again.
Okay, now I'm wondering if that's what happened to the Incredibles' other kid.
Trent Reznor.
I don't know. In all honesty, I know like 3 things about medicine, and that's about it. So there we go.
I hope you learn more in your program.
I bet Mel will understand me here when I say this. A lot of like doctorate level education is just going home and crying because you don't know anything and feeling like you're stupid as shit because you are. Like that's medical school. Like you just feel like a piece of shit. Like I spent all day like feeling like a piece of shit because I don't know anything. And I'm like, why am I dumb? And then I cried with a friend like that I was chatting with. I was like, why do I feel dumb?
Is that what you were crying about?
And he's like, I feel dumb too. I was like, okay, so I'm not alone. We're fine. And that's just how it is. Man. Like, and I guess Mel will probably give you the same advice. Like if you want to feel smart, don't get a graduate degree. Don't do it. You'll never feel smart again, ever. There you go.
I am an idiot for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
You should not be crying because you think you are dumb. You should realize that you're a lot better educated than most people in this country, and then you should cry.
This is true.
Because everybody's so uneducated. Yes.
Because
cry about that.
Because people who think that they're smart are speaking, and those of us who know something, even if I only know 3 things, like I know something, and I think I'm stupid. So, like, of course, we're all gonna be quiet, and then these other people take over the world. We're like, no, don't do that. And then they mess up the pandemic, and like,
don't let the Duggars take over the world with all those babies they're having and all the molestation going on.
Oh my God.
So Mac wants to know how we're doing with longevity.
Yeah, I don't know because I only know 3 things, and that's not one of the 3 things I've learned.
No, I'm saying, well, if you guys are making up stuff and talking about how we can make the human body better to make it. I mean, obviously, you would need more. See, this is what I don't understand, right? So, there's a
delicate balance. There's a problem. There's a problem that we get to, and I think Mel will probably agree with me on this. It's because you could solve the problem and make the problem simultaneously worse with telomerase. Mella's going. Okay.
Telomerase, it's like tomato. Yeah, I totally understand where you're going with this.
See, this is the problem I have. So, okay, check this out, everybody, real quick, and then you guys can continue on with that. This is the problem I have. So, let's say God created us, right? And He created this great species. How come we don't have 2 hearts and 2 brains?
Just like
how come we don't have a backup? The things we have, we have a backup kidney. You can live without one. We have a backup lung. You can still live without one.
Clearly,
but the shit that will kill you if we don't have a backup up, nope, you ain't getting those.
David Tennant didn't come to our world enough because I'm totally River Song. I have a sonic screwdriver. If you're a Doctor Who fan, you totally get this. Otherwise, you don't.
Well, I've been asking, why can a frog or a salamander regenerate a lost limb, but I can't regrow my severed fingers?
Right, exactly.
Because you're not David Tennant.
Because you need liver fingers.
But I mean, salamanders.
It's the only thing that regenerates.
Aren't we
you need
supposed
liver
to be
fingers.
so much more evolved than salamanders, and they've got an ability that we don't? One that is, unquestionably extremely useful?
I think it's probably because the Daleks haven't attacked us enough where we could completely evolve into a higher level species. But, I need to contact the BBC and possibly David Tennant and Michael Sheen because Michael Sheen's a really good distraction.
A higher level species that takes 50 years to learn how to work stairs.
It's hard. Have you seen stairs?
Oh my God.
I mean, like, for real. Trying to go upstairs when you've hung out with some people in, I don't know, Camden in London, and you've like had a bit too many. Like, it's fine, you'll be okay. And you navigate the tube, and you're totally, it's just, it works somehow. It's kismet. It's totally fine. And some of you have been to London and you know what I'm talking about, so I don't even need to say anything further.
I think Mel is broken. I think I already broke you with my grad school comment, so yeah.
It's okay. There are worse ways to go. It's fine.
I should explain what telomerase is, how we got there. So it's when you're replicating DNA, you can't replicate all of it all the time. There's like some little loose ends kind of that like you can't reach with your enzymes.
The universe hates you, so you can't copy all of your DNA because entropy, and that's more important.
Yeah, so it gets shorter and shorter every single time, and so you have these regions on the end that are non-coding to protect the stuff that matters, so that you get rid of stuff that doesn't matter first. And I guess there's a lot of science saying that. So we do know that there's. Yeah,
the parts that are less matter-y.
Get cut off first.
The word. Yes.
But there's this enzyme that like babies have, and like some other species have it probably.
So we should all harvest the babies.
Yes. And it will grow.
That's Atheist 101. Come on.
So this enzyme will grow the less important ends so that you're not losing DNA every single time. It's like, so because there's science that's saying that one of the reasons why we age is because this DNA is getting shorter and shorter. But the problem is, if you start adding this enzyme, so sure, this enzyme will lengthen your DNA, so you're less likely to age, but now you're more likely to get cancer.
Yes, because you have the increased opportunity for the nucleic acid sequence to shift a bit.
Yep. So it's like, sure, we could potentially extend life, but also give you cancer. So it's
Woohoo!
life. Biology is a delicate balance of life and cancer. Like for real, that is biology.
So, do I try really hard to be David Tennant's girlfriend? Or do I go
Well-
the complete opposite and get cancer? I'm thinking really hard.
More likely cancer.
You know, and
If
he's
we're just
so
speaking
pretty.
likelihood.
So that makes it really hard. He's like smoking sweet cigarettes that make you feel happy every time you take a drag. But he causes cancer, so what do you do? Y'all know you love David Tennant. Don't pretend that you don't, because
I
oh
was
my-
more of a Matt Smith fan, but David Tennant's also cool.
Matt
I'm
Smith,
sorry.
he has a really huge forehead. And
But I'm also like I'm not like sexually attracted to any of them because I primarily prefer women. So Amy
Fair
Pond, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. But
it's so hard.
That's what
Okay,
she
I
said.
just
Oh,
figured
sorry.
something out.
This guy came out of me. Go ahead.
Well, this is what it started with, the Americans Disability Act, and it's
Okay.
been all the stuff since then about handicap access and everything. This is the long-term plot to prepare our planet for the Daleks to invade so they don't have to do stairs.
oh my god.
Daleks doing stairs. That is Jane Fonda's worst nightmare.
Or Richard Simmons. I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
why we
Pick
need
one.
ramps and elevators everywhere so then the Daleks can invade.
You are an associate of the Doctor. You will show mercy. I am River Song. Check your records again. Oh, I love her. I wish I had totally bought into all the Facebook ads to where I could have like 2 minutes talking with River Song. Because that's
I know the classic Doctor Who. I haven't kept up with any of the
Mm.
recent ones.
my literal name is her name. So it's like, I feel like I need to see her because I'm also a professor and she's a professor. And we need to experience shared things because, God, I don't know. I'm such a nerd.
Oh shit! Are you? Man, I gotta kick her off. We don't allow that here.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Oh, thanks, Mac. Mac's newer to our community. I found him over at my brother's, invited him over. He's a good dude. And JR, hello. I love these streams so much. Seamless jumping from profundity to frivolity. I love you all, seriously.
Yeah. I was wondering who Mac was. This was somebody I'd never seen before, but seemed to be getting the lines in there.
Yeah, I know. Mac is really like cool and laid back and chilled and funny. And he's just a good dude. And he like thinks before he just opens his mouth and says shit. So I like him for that. But yeah, no, he's a good dude. Heads up display training at work. You poor thing. Have fun, DKH. Thanks for the dark sarcasm. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Good night, Darn.
Oh goodness. Anyways, I need to end this soon. So
Yep.
I am tired and I haven't eaten dinner yet and I have to be in bed in like 30-40 minutes. So
Yeah, your curfew.
yeah. I got my own curfew. Yeah. Because I want to sleep. Because see, before I moved into my tiny home, everybody needs to understand, I used to sleep 5 to 6 hours a night. 5.5 hours is my typical. I moved into my tiny home, I can sleep 10. It's so nice that I'm enjoying it after years of sleeplessness. So yeah, I go to bed on time so I can sleep 8 hours every fucking night because I can. Absolutely. Okay, so I just want to say, everybody on the panel, thank you so much for coming up. And I appreciate the not only intelligent but hilarious conversation all at the same time. Everybody in the chat, I appreciate all of you guys. You are amazing. If anybody doesn't know Mel, look up Scientist Mel wherever. You'll find her. If you want to check out Ben's on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube, look up Student Dr. Ben. It's pretty fucking easy. If doctor doesn't work, try student doc, Ben. It's one of the two.
Apparently, people also find me by searching sex doctor on YouTube and I come up. So I learned that from my analytics.
I'm doing that search on my phone as soon as we get off of here.
Oh my God. That's going to show up in my analytics and it's going to grow that note.
Purple, you could, same thing with purple. Purple is everywhere. Purple rhymes with orange. And Purple does streams on the Shills and on Sci Strike Movie Night on Fridays. And she does her own streams on Wednesday at noon Central and Thursday nights at midnight Central Time also. So check out Purple too. Purple's great. Everybody, I love you very much, and I always appreciate the support and you guys showing up every time, even when there's really cool people on other streams on YouTube. So I love you for that. And everybody, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and have some peace in your life.
Okay. Good night, all.